Welcome to the fantasy audiobook, Cultivation of Immortality by All. Load golden entries at the beginning. Chapter 41. The City Lord's Mansion, the Blessed Land Behind the Mountain. Shu Ronning counted her fingers and frowned slightly. 7 days. Qianzi also came to the back mountain at this moment. 7 days have passed, and Lu Chengqing still has no sign of coming out of the copy. For a newcomer, during the Qi refining period copy, everything is torture. Ordinary students will collapse when entering. If they can last for 3 days, they are excellent. But if you haven't been blasted out for 7 days, that can basically be regarded as that it indeed has the ability to survive in the copy. This should not be underestimated. Being able to survive alone in a dungeon is considered a very good monk. Because this requires excellent overall abilities in cultivation, damage, survival, exploration, and all aspects. When forming a team, other monks will look at you with high regard. Shu Ronning nodded slightly, wondering if it was recognition. Does he have a magic weapon to protect himself? Probably not. Ganze had seen it that day. Based on his cultivation, he could tell at a glance whether he had any magic weapon for self-protection. Of course, the senior sister could also tell it. She just wanted to know if Lu Chengqing got it after he left. Shu Ronning, have you ever obtained blue or above sword skills, mind skills, and body skills? Qianzi, probably not. The time before the awakening of destiny is still very short, and he can't repair it. To say the least, even if there is and it can be repaired, there is no safe zone in the dungeon. Shu Ronning still didn't believe it. Where are the high-grade elixirs? Qianzi, I don't know, I can't investigate in details. Shu Ronning said no more. Qianzi also bowed and left. 7 days. Qianzi returned to his house and meditated to study, but his heart was still restless. Lu Chengqing entered the dungeon during this trip. If he survived, it would be a rare life and death experience. Once such a talented young man comes out alive, his future path to immortality will be limitless. Senior sister's attitude is ambiguous. I don't know what it is, but as the city lord, I can't sit down anymore. After a while, a copy of the square appeared. The monks were gathering together to make a big bet. Hey, how long do you think Lu Chengqing can last? 10 days. A level can last up to 10 days. If you can't escape, the moon will fill the sky and demons will dance wildly. How can he escape unscathed with his little cultivation? Within 10 days, either die or come out. It makes sense, so I'll bet on it for 10 days. At this moment, everyone suddenly caught a glimpse of a bright sword light coming from the east. Look at Linhai City. There is only one person who can have such momentum and fierce sword light. Welcome to the Lord of the City. Everyone bowed and saluted. When Uncle Fu saw this, his expression suddenly changed from bright to dark, but he didn't waste any time getting up and saluting. You are all accomplished practitioners, feel free to do whatever you want, no need to be formal. Qianzi smiled, as if he was here to inspect, casually asking about the market price, and caring about everyone's cultivation. I have met the Lord of the City. Uncle Fu respectfully stepped forward and saluted. Qianzi didn't talk nonsense, and didn't pay attention. He just glanced at him coldly, flicked his sleeves, and sat firmly on Fu Bo's chair. I have been in seclusion for many years, but now I have a sudden impulse, and I am still thinking about it. Qianzi believed it and said, from today onwards, I will be here in the questioning square, asking about the way of heaven, asking about my own way, and also asking about the way of this city lord. If you have any questions that are difficult to understand in terms of cultivation and understanding, you can feel free to ask. As the lord of the city, I will answer your questions carefully. All the monks were stunned. The city leader wants to teach me how to cultivate immortality. That's the golden elixir avenue. I am just a little Qi practitioner, do you understand me? No, it's not important. We have listened to the City Lord's lesson, and we will be considered the Lord's disciples in the future. Hi, even though it's not related, it must be somewhat related. It's rare. All the monks quickly kowtowed. Lord City Lord, if you ask about heaven and earth, your merits will be immeasurable. Fu Bo's face was extremely ugly. Qianzi ignored him just now, which was already a show of force. Send someone to arrest Lu Chengqing. If someone takes it away, no one will say anything. Can be biased. Lu Chengqing was not taken away, but the thug died, still in the living room of Lu Chengqing's house. Although there is no evidence involving the Nangong family in this matter. But City Lord, if he wants to show off to you, he doesn't need any evidence. Now that I am stuck in the dungeon square, I thought he would not care about it and did not dare to care about it. I did not expect that the City Lord would demonstrate in this way. Keons ignored the old man behind him at all, and just smiled and said to everyone. No need to be polite. As the saying goes, there is no order of entry, only when you gain the Tao can you become true. Don't miss the opportunity to seek immortality because of your cowardice. Think, after I have been in charge of Linhai for 100 years, I can only produce one Lu Chengqing, who can be called a genius. As for the path of cultivating immortals, there are people who get it first and then achieve it. There are people who get it first and then achieve it. There are also people who get it and then achieve it. You are not a genius today, maybe you just haven't arrived yet. If I, Linhai City, can produce a genius during my qi refining period, even if I die in a thunderstorm, I will still have a clear conscience and have made a difference between heaven and earth. Everyone was excited and worshipped sincerely. The great virtue of the City Lord, the heaven and the earth are united. But Uncle Fu, who fell behind the City Lord, felt a chill running down his spine. The City Lord's actions and words, and the importance he places on Tianzhou, are he planning to overturn the sword sect's banning order? But, Lu Chengqing, a person who cannot cultivate immortality, what's the point of being a genius? Is it worth it? Keons didn't care what others thought, he just sat in the square and gave careful instructions to the monks in the city. He couldn't understand his senior sister's habits. But after thinking about it, he probably just wanted to teach Lu Chengqing a lesson. How can the genius who was finally obtained die casually? Wait for him to come out. Hao Sheng reprimanded. Let him kowtow to his senior sister and apologize, and that will be the end of it. Even if Jian Zong says something, he cannot take it back. But there should always be a gap. If heaven acts in a way, there must be a way for life. Humanity cannot cut off all avenues of life. At the same time, Lu Chengqing, who was in the wilderness, held the sword secret in his hand and pointed it out. Miso miso miso. 3 Qingshan sword chi flew out at the same time, cutting through the thorn forest in the distance. A moment, the Zongshuan sword shook slightly, and 3 sword energies were fired simultaneously. The interval between the 2 attacks was extremely short, and the sword energy was fired 3 times in unison. The power was really shocking, and in the blink of an eye, it cut down large thorns around the retreat place. Good, Lu Chengqing praised. So what if I only have ordinary swordsmanship? I can still cultivate the world and slay demons. Wind-cutting sword technique. Slashes a sword-shaped infuriating energy towards the target in front, causing 140% of the basic damage. Consumption. 6 points of spiritual power. Cooldown. 0.5 seconds. Beginner's introduction. Extraordinary sword power, attack power plus 100 points. Quite skilled. Save time, cooldown minus 50%. Small achievements. 1 Qi, 3 purities, stimulates 2 additional sword energies. Walk. Lu Chengqing spent 7 days in seclusion. Although his cultivation did not change, his mental skills and sword skills were somewhat improved. The confidence he had when dealing with monsters at this moment was completely different. Blood-eating vulture. Snort. Lu Chengqing snorted coldly. Don't let me touch you, otherwise I will shoot you with a sword, so that you can know how powerful Dao Master is. When the first day comes. Although Shuiyu Bingpo was difficult to deal with, he just didn't know the situation and was carelessly injured. Golden eagles are fierce. After all, it is huge in size and cannot crawl through mountains and gaps like humans. As long as it is discovered in advance, it can be avoided in advance. The location of the primitive dense forest was informed by the Shantian mirror in advance and it was not penetrated deeply. What gave Lu Chengqing the greatest sense of oppression was the black blood-eating vulture when he first arrived in the wilderness. Like an invasion, like a plunder. Where is this monster? It was simply a demon army that robbed and massacred crazily. They roam the sky unscrupulously, hunting down all targets they find. Judging from the cultivation level and realm at that time, there is no way to deal with the demons that are dispatched on such a large scale, except to hide. Bala. An annoying cry came from the sky. Lu Chengqing had just stepped onto the flying sword and reached midair. He turned around and immediately showed a faint smile. It's a coincidence that I met my enemy when I went out. Blood-eating vulture in the wilderness. Realm, 6th level of Chi refining stage. Age, 12. Status, little demon, Chi-eating blood demon. Life, 1200. Spiritual power, 600. Attack, 125. Defense, 40. Spiritual method, bloody bite, quite skillful. Magic weapon, none. Female. Habits, they have no intelligence, appear in groups, and use their numerical superiority to kill any prey they see. Most of them are controlled by demonic monks. Weakness, golden essence of heaven and earth. Strategy, you can only deal with them head-on and kill them one by one with excellent strength. You need to be wary of possible demonic monks. Evaluation, only demonic monks can refine and drive monsters. If used normally, they will definitely be tabooed by the righteous way. Hiss. Lu Chengqing looked up the detailed information and finally understood. Why did I feel that the evil nature was abnormal when I saw this blood-eating vulture that day, and it was difficult to deal with it? Turn out to be, this was actually refined by demonic monks. Age 12. Ordinary little demons are relatively old. Demons are not as good as humans in cultivation. In the same realm, the age of demons is generally much older. 12 years. No one can cultivate beyond the Chi refining stage. How can a demon reach the 6th level of Chi refining stage? There are no magic monks in the copy, right? The information Lu Chengqing found kept reminding him that this must not be groundless. If he were in the wild mountains, it would be difficult to touch these things. Because the realm and cultivation level of the demonic monk behind the other party is completely unknown. If you act recklessly, you might be taken away by the devil's people as if you were lying. Now, Lu Chengqing raised the corner of his mouth, controlled the flying sword to retreat diagonally, and at the same time pinched the sword formula in his hand, kill. Chat. The big demon in the blood-eating eagle army immediately made an unpleasant cry after the sword energy appeared. Follow closely. The black demon army divided into 3 queues in the sky. Do you still know the art of war? Lu Chengqing was stunned for a moment, then secretly said. This is no ordinary demon. They are demon soldiers refined by magic means. It is reasonable for them to know some art of war, right? It seems that we have to change our plans. Over the past 7 days, Lu Chengqing has been planning many ways to deal with the monster. Especially this blood-eating vulture. I have rehearsed it many times in my mind. I have the speed advantage of flying swords. Normally flying swords in the foundation stage are difficult to chase down with spiritual beasts. As long as you use them properly, you can keep the blood-eating vulture at a suitable distance and kill them bit by bit. The mental method provides 2,647 points of life. Even if you are bitten by some little monsters at close range, your life will not be in danger. Spiritual power, 905 points. Natural recovery, low spiritual recovery, barely enough. Swordsmanship, this is the foundation of demon slaying. 0.25 second cooldown. 1 stimulation, 3 sword energy. Although the consumption has tripled, the lethality has truly skyrocketed. Especially when dealing with such hordes of monsters, the effect is even stronger. Results now. With one move to cut the wind, the demon army divided into 3 groups, intending to outflank themselves. If the distance is too close, there is a risk of being hunted by hundreds of blood-eating vultures. That's when, if a little demon were to attack you, no protective magic weapon would be of any use, and it would be impossible for a human being to withstand it. Are you looking down on people too much? As soon as Lu Chengqing thought, the innate mirror unfolded a completely different picture in front of his eyes. That is the number, speed, and possible future encirclement route of the demon army. Everything is under control. There is this background. Lu Chengqing chose a direction without any panic. That route would never be surrounded, and the distance was just enough to attack the blood-eating vulture. Zan Zan, clumsy. When the 3 sword energy slashed out diagonally, the Xuanzhan sword also shot into the sky like purple lightning. The demon that walks in the sky has high attack but low defense. Their weakness is the golden spirit of heaven and earth. Zan Zan is a flying sword, extremely sharp. When refining it, the golden essence of heaven and earth must have been added. Puff puff puff. -380. -715 understanding. -708 discouraged. The purple lightning shot all the way at an extremely fast speed, piercing through 3 little blood-eating eagle demons in succession. 2 of them were beaten into despair and were seriously injured on the spot. Their flight was unstable and they were about to fall to the ground. Lu Chengqing had no time to make up for the damage. He condensed the sword technique in his hand, and the sword energy was like a waterfall of meteors, slashing out in waves. No one can stop the blood-eating vulture you encounter. Harm. Lu Chengqing has always been good at it, and now that he has mastered his swordsmanship, his attacks are even more ferocious, like the raging waves of the sea, one wave after another. The sword energy that was continuously stimulated easily cut away the demon army's forward camp. More than a dozen blood-eating vultures died suddenly on the spot. Bite. You defeated the blood-eating eagle on the 6th level of Qi refining and gained 28 points of cultivation. You defeated the blood-eating eagle on the 6th level of Qi refining and gained 28 points of cultivation. The materials fell out of the air, and the cultivation level disappeared between the eyebrows. Lu Chengqing didn't care. He continued killing for 7 or 8 seconds, then stopped, no longer stimulating the sword energy, and only used Zongxuan to cut back and forth. The consumption of swordsmanship is far greater than he thought. 3 times. That's not bad, but after the cooling is reduced, the consumption per second is 6 times. It used to be 12 o'clock. It's now 72 o'clock. All the spiritual power is enough to last for more than 10 seconds. Good thing. The concentration technique will be restored and strengthened when in a low spirit state. Recovers 15 points per second. Lu Chengqing suspended the attack and focused more on the flight path. After circling for a while, he was able to start the massacre again. A moment later, more than half of the hundreds of blood-eating eagle demons were killed, suffering heavy losses, and many others were seriously injured and fell to the ground. Now, less than 1/3 of them can still pursue Lu Chengqing. Squeak. Seeing this, the leader of the big demon raised his head and let out a sharp and shrill sound. In the blink of an eye, he opened his dual weapons, spun out several streaks of blood, and slashed at him diagonally. Tisk. Before Lu Chengqing could get close to the bloody light, bursts of stench of blood could be heard in the air. You must not touch this kind of demonic spiritual method. Phaegian accelerated its retreat, made a small turn in the air, missed the bloody attack, and continued to fly diagonally. Lu Chengqing will not let them go. Bypass the big monster and clear out all the little monsters first. Bite. Your cultivation level is full and you can make a breakthrough. It's true that there is no retreat to improve one's realm. Lu Chengqing knew that the bonus of the realm was impressive, but this was a dungeon and had its own way of gaining cultivation. And this is no ordinary copy. The number of demons has doubled, and the cultivation levels will naturally increase. If it is a retreat, it will take at least 1 day to reach full cultivation. Now, just killing a group of blood-eating vultures is enough to break through. Perfect. Cultivation depends entirely on slaying demons, so if you have time, use them all to comprehend. In front of you, this demonic army refined by demonic monks, no matter how heavy the losses were, would not retreat at all and pursued them all the way. Little did I know, they are the ones to be killed. A moment passed. All the little demons were cut down from the sky by Lu Chengqing's sword energy. Only one big demon was still chasing the trail of Lu Chengqing's flying sword and frantically launched a bloodlight attack. I'm done dying, now it's your turn. Lu Chengqing smiled calmly and turned to face the big demon. No rush. Lu Chengqing already knew that he had a speed advantage, so there was no need to rush. He should be careful to dodge the bloodlight attacks, and when he found an opportunity, he would give this big demon a taste of the power of a dozen sword energies. Only 1 round of attacks came down. The blood-eating eagle demon was already covered in wounds and was seriously injured. The great demon has a powerful life. But no matter how strong you are, you still have to be able to withstand my attack. 1 sword energy is worth hundreds of lives. Within 1 second, more than a dozen sword energy were fired in succession. Even the big demon can't stand it. Squeak. The blood-eating vulture was suddenly startled, and a strange light suddenly appeared in its pupils. The next second, it actually left Lu Chengqing alone, turned around and fled deep into the wilderness. Chase. As soon as Lu Chengqing thought about flying his sword, the big demon burst out a ball of blood all over him. This time, the blood light was not used to attack, but seemed to have an acceleration effect. It directly opened 1,000 meters away from Lu Changqing, and the speed was so fast that it could almost catch up with Tianyu. Is there still this trick? Lu Changqing was secretly shocked. I didn't inquire about the detailed information of this big demon just now. Always at a safe distance. I'm sorry it can't translate anything. To be honest, if the big demon uses this to accelerate a sneak attack, it will still be somewhat threatening. Lu Changqing glanced at the materials and spirit stones on the ground, weighed them up, and chased after them. The material of the big demon is more expensive. The mental tricks that may be revealed should not be missed. If you can catch up to the lair, there might be a treasure chest you can open. After the bloody light burst out, there was not much difference in speed between the two sides. Lu Changqing was hanging several kilometers behind, and he actually didn't intend to speed up too much. He just wanted to wait for the big demon to return to his lair before dealing with it. A moment, Lu Changqing chased him for dozens of miles. Buzz. The Shantian mirror actually issued an early warning at this moment. What's going on? Lu Changqing was a little confused. Could it be that this old demon still had a female waiting in the lair? Even if there are two together, it's not too dangerous, right? Tisk. If you give up at this time, the loss will be really big. Man dies for wealth, and bird dies for food. This statement is absolutely true. Knowingly there is danger, Lu Changqing still didn't want to give up. After thinking about it, he speeded up to catch up, summoning the innate mirror to check the secret. Bite. You have consumed 1,000 spirit points, and the query is successful. The great blood-eating vulture demon, under the control of the chi-eating blood demon, deliberately lures the monks to its lair. Most demons who practice blood souls master the method of exchanging blood for souls. With the help of formations, they can exchange blood to control souls and control the body and soul of monks in one fell swoop. It is extremely vicious. However, this demon has been seriously injured, and its remaining soul has melted into blood, and it is inhabiting a small blood pool in this wilderness. As long as you don't get close to the blood pool, and don't step into the opponent's blood exchange formation, you should have no worries. Good. Lu Changqing now finally realizes what the magic weapon of the immortal family is. It was known 500 years before and 500 years later. Nothing but immortality. If you have free time one day, you really have to try to search for secrets. Even if the probability is low, it doesn't matter. You can always recover your energy anyway. What if I really find out some top secret? What a great opportunity. Today, if I hadn't had this innate realm, I would have lost my life completely if I was greedy. Lu Changqing didn't know whether the soul jade could be reborn if the soul was charged. It would be okay if it could. If it cannot, then it will really make heaven and earth unable to respond, and the earth and earth will not work. In the future, whenever you encounter evil spirits and crooked ways, you must not take it lightly. It is best to keep 1,000 energy points at all times to search for the secret information of these evil ways. The danger is already known. The question is what next? Lu Changqing considered going back. But, now that all the information has been checked, it is equivalent to opening one's eyes. Do we still want to withdraw? A seriously injured foundation building blood demon stored in a blood pool. For a copy in the chi refining period. It must be a hidden plot, right? Be reasonable. Even if ordinary monks encounter it, they will not be able to conquer this stage. The demonic army of blood-eating eagles. It's not something that ordinary monks can handle, and it's not easy to run away. Kill them all. It sounds simple, but in reality it is extremely difficult. Let's talk about the big demon finally escaping and bursting with blood. How many of them can catch up? Flying across the sky. There are people who can afford it. But who can buy the best Tianyu with the golden entry at his feet? Being able to hide when encountering danger will certainly preserve the hope of cultivating immortality. But if you only know how to hide, all kinds of heavenly and earthly treasures and top-quality materials will not be available to you, and your cultivation will also slow down. Eventually, the monks will be trapped in longevity and have no hope of everlasting life. Lu Changqing only slowed down slightly and continued to follow. Dangerous place. The innate mirrors have all been marked, just be careful. Ordinary monks can't understand the blood demon's blood exchange formation. I have an innate mirror, how could I not know about it? Let's go and have a look. After walking for more than 10 miles, we came to a mountain stream in the wilderness. The big demon hovered above the mountain stream several times in a row. It seemed that he was really afraid that he would lose it. Only after confirming that the distance was close enough did he fall into the mountain stream. I have seen actors' self-cultivation. Lu Chengqing accelerated quickly and rushed to the mountain stream. He clearly saw the big demon hiding on a platform at the bottom of the mountain stream, so he was not in a hurry to get down. I searched randomly all over the mountain stream. It took a quarter of an hour. Lu Chengqing still didn't go to where the big demon was. Squeak! The blood-eating vulture demon suddenly let out a shrill scream and flew out of the cave platform, as if it was in danger, and fled away. In Lu Chengqing's eyes, the innate mirror reflected clearly. The cave was winding and twisted, and there was an extremely hidden place in it, hiding a pool of blood. The blood exchange formation is also in the cave. Lu Chengqing ignored it and decided to kill the big demon first. Friend Taoist, please wait. In the mountain stream, a weak and soft call suddenly came out. Who's here? Lu Chengqing looked quite surprised. Turn around and look. At the entrance of the blood pond cave just now, a female cultivator with a bumpy figure and a perfectly torn robe seemed to be leaning against the cave in an extremely weak manner, like a remnant soul. Fellow Taoist, be careful. Behind that big demon is an old demon who is a blood cultivator. Don't chase him forcefully. Oh, Lu Chengqing was slightly startled, then he cupped his hands and said, "Thank you, fellow Taoist, for reminding me, otherwise I would have been ambushed by that old devil. It's a pity that I'm just a remnant soul now, so I really can't help, fellow Taoist." As the female monk spoke, she put her left hand on her heart and weakly pulled down the already broken robe. Lu Chengqing wanted to curse in his heart. You say, you are a remnant soul, how can you still tear off your clothes? Are you too good at it? Hiss, what a pity. The innate mirror can see through illusions. In Lu Chengqing's eyes, this guy was transformed into a pool of extremely smelly blood. There shouldn't be anyone who is so hungry that they can appreciate this, right? We righteous monks should help each other. Lu Chengqing endured the stench, swallowed his saliva, and said with a smile, I dare to ask the female fairy, how can I help you? Otherwise, with my low cultivation, I am afraid that I will not be able to defeat that person. Old devil. Really? The female cultivator was so pleasantly surprised that she seemed to be able to throw herself into my arms in the next second. Senior brother can come this far alone, which shows his high strength. I guess he must be a proud person, right? The fairy is so proud, Lu Chengqing said a little shyly, I see that you are seriously injured. I didn't bring any pills with me when I went out. How can I help you? Finally getting to the point. The blood demon couldn't wait any longer, and quickly controlled the female cultivator's remnant soul and said, Senior brother, I don't know. I am a foundation building monk of the sect Immortal sect. After my experience, I found a treasure of heaven and earth in the cave, which can help the monk reshapes his body and embarks on the golden elixir road. Oh, what kind of natural treasure? Lu Chengqing looked excited, but the distance between him and the other party was not even close at all. Pure yang thunder fire. The female cultivator's words were eloquent, as if they were real. That is the divine thunder of the most powerful yang in the world that struck the tree in the sky. The remaining wisp of thunder fire can, if it can be obtained, mold a body of pure yang, become a golden elixir of heaven, and form a pure yang nascent soul. Aha! In fact, Lu Chengqing had never heard of such high-end materials and treasures, but he pretended to be shocked and tempted. Where is it? Right in the cave. The female cultivator pointed. I saw the dark wind blowing in the cave, and the smell was extremely fishy. Lu Chengqing was speechless. You should check the information anyway. Can a wisp of thunder and fire from the pure sun of heaven and earth lie down in a place like this? Just now, I fought a bloody battle with that old devil here, and fought hard to repel him. But he is a blood demon. The blood-eating eagle is under his control and goes out to find blood food to restore its strength. I think it was my senior brother who was so powerful that he was unable to do anything, but he was unwilling to miss the opportunity, so he planned to break into the cave and steal the pure yang thunder fire before his senior brother came. With no choice, I can only burst out with the last ray of my remaining soul, and barely drink the blood-eating eagle. As she said that, the remaining soul of the female cultivator began to sway, and it seemed that she was about to lose her soul every minute. To be honest, the blood demon's methods are indeed clever. Ordinary monks would never be able to see through this female cultivator's illusions. Although there are some flaws in the story, if you hadn't been preconceived, I'm afraid you would have believed it immediately under the pair of crumbling Snow Whites, and you would have been a hero to save the beauty right away. Senior brother, hurry, it's too late. The female cultivator floated into the cave first, extremely weak. Lu Chengqing said calmly, I dare to ask my friend, where is the pure Yang Thunder Fire? The female cultivator shook slightly and smiled bitterly. Junior sister is in such a state that it is very difficult to survive. Please take away the pure Yang Thunder Fire and take away the remaining soul of the junior sister. In the future, even if the junior sister is a slave, she must repay the senior brother for saving her life. Quote. Lu Chengqing took the opportunity to see clearly that the blood exchange formation was still in an open space in the cave, while the blood pool was hidden behind a gap that was extremely difficult to detect. The old devil was seriously injured. Just this blood condensation illusion, he almost couldn't support it. Urgent. He was probably anxious. The female cultivator led the way straight ahead. I have collected the pure Yang Thunder Fire in a jade bottle. Senior brother, please look, it's just ahead. Lu Chengqing saw it. In the blood exchange formation, there was indeed a blood-stained jade bottle. But you have to go get it, sorry. He will immediately fall into a blood exchange battle. Lu Chengqing's cultivation level is only at the second level of the qi refining stage. Even if he can see through the formation and find the formation's eye, there is no solution. Because the center of this formation is the old demon's blood pool. Zan. Lu Chengqing made a quick decision and drew out his flying sword. With a flash of purple lightning, he rushed directly into the formation and smashed the jade bottle. Snap! The jade bottle burst, and a pure yang fire spread out in the cave. Zitza! The blood stains on the ground suddenly rose into black mist and disappeared quickly under the intense heat of the pure sun. Boom boom boom. There are bursts of thunder, and the sound shakes the soul. Even Lu Chengqing felt that his soul was shaken by the sound of thunder and his scalp was numb. Fear, what kind of rare treasures from heaven and earth can possess such power? Ah! The female cultivator screamed in pain as if her soul was being torn apart. What are you doing? Lu Chengqing chuckled. I didn't expect that there really was a pure Yang Thunder Fire. I thought you were lying to me. The female cultivator is an old demon condensed with her blood. Under the pure yang flames, she immediately seemed to be roasted, and her soul was burned every inch. Teacher, senior brother, I am a remnant soul. How can I bear the pure yang thunder sound? Quote. Quick, go collect it. Receive. Lu Chengqing will not be in a hurry to accept it. Don't worry, since pure yang thunder fire is here, I will definitely help you reshape your body. By the way, where is your physical body? Deep in the cave, the blood pool was boiling violently, as if it was about to explode. But at this moment, Lu Chengqing is standing one step outside the blood exchange formation, unable to get in. With his current strength, it is difficult to even condense a blood demon body, and there is no way he can defeat this genius. Only, the female cultivator fled to the cave passage, avoiding the direct burning of the pure yang fire, and cried, Brother, my body was broken into pieces by that old demon, and was restrained by the dirty blood. Quick, as long as you use your flying sword to cut open the blood pool, I can control my body to escape. Use a flying sword to cut a pool of blood. Is your brain okay? Lu Chengqing thought for a while and then hesitated. Hey, it looks a bit dirty. You know, my flying sword is very expensive. Blood demon, are you an evil cultivator? Didn't you see that the female nun was about to die? Are you still thinking about whether your sword will be dirty? Phew, the blood demon forced himself to suppress his anger and control the female monk. Brother, be quick, don't be hasty if you are late. No need to worry, I'm not in a hurry at all. Lu Chengqing smiled slightly, held a sword in his hand, and blasted straight towards the cave wall hiding the blood pool. Senior brother, the female cultivator looked shocked. Lu Chengqing shrugged slightly. It's nothing, I just want to consecrate you. It's hard to breathe even if you're always hiding in a pool of blood. Bang. The female cultivator transformed by the blood demon finally couldn't hold herself any longer and immediately exploded on the spot, sprinkling dirty blood all over the cave. Only, The dirty blood was evaporated cleanly under the pure yang thunder fire before it could fly far. Lu Chengqing had already withdrawn from the cave after blasting out his sword energy. As for the pure yang thunder fire in the blood exchange formation, he didn't even look at it. Man dies for wealth, and bird dies for food. Pure yang thunder fire is real. But it is true that you will die if you take it. Squeak. An angry scream resounded through the mountain stream. The blood-eating vulture turned into a ball of blood and rushed to the entrance of the cave in the blink of an eye. Call. If Lu Chengqing moved a step slower, he would be blocked in the cave by the old devil. In the front, there is a blood exchange formation and a blood demon whose energy is so explosive that it appears, and in the back, there is a big demon refined by magic means. A dead end. Now when I come to the sky, let go. Tianyu exploded at extreme speed. No matter how bloody you are, you won't be able to hurt me in the slightest. Clumsy. Lu Chengqing pointed his sword, and Zan turned into a flash of purple electricity and stabbed out. Phew. -605 understanding. Puff puff puff. The sword energy was fired again, with 3 sword strikes in a row, directly splitting the big demon's head. You little Taoist priest, you really deserve to die. The blood demon's roar roared out from the cave. Come out if you have the ability. Lu Chengqing smiled suddenly, and fired his sword energy continuously, slashing at the blood-eating vulture. Little Taoist priest, if you can, come in. The blood demon roared. The pure yang thunder fire is still here, don't you want it anymore? Give it to you. Lu Chengqing laughed and said, not caring at all how rare that natural treasure was. While talking, several rays of sword energy burst out in succession, directly cutting off the blood-eating eagle's head. Bite. You defeated the blood-eating eagle demon at the 13th level of Qi refining and gained 1820 points of cultivation. Except for cultivation, a crimson blood bead also burst out from the corpse of the big demon. Lu Chengqing had no intention of getting it. The old devil is not dead. It's not over yet. Does anyone know if there is anything wrong with this bead? But there's no need to rush. It's only a matter of time before the old devil dies. Pure yang thunder and fire can innately restrain evil cultivators such as blood demons. The cave wall between the pure yang thunder fire and the blood pool was also shattered by the sword energy. All that's left is to wait. Sooner or later, the pure yang thunder fire can evaporate all the dirty blood in a pool. It is impossible for the blood demon to come out, unless he wants to die faster. Lu Chengqing was just above the mountain stream, sitting cross-legged and meditating on Tianyu, waiting quietly. The hidden plot of the Qi refining stage dungeon is still very difficult, but after all, it is a dungeon, not the wild. So there must be a way for ordinary monks in the Qi refining stage to pass the level. Blood demon. After being seriously injured, he could not even kill a monk in the Qi refining stage with a sneak attack at close range. Only when the monks step into the blood exchange formation or come near the blood pool can the old devil succeed. His methods are also simple. It's seduction. Beauty is only one of them, and natural resources and treasures are the second. Just ask the world, how many people who are good at both wealth and can calm down and think carefully about whether this is a trap. And the old devil also has the blood-eating eagle as a backup interceptor. You have to think of it all in a very short time to have a chance of surviving. Actually, if Lu Chengqing didn't have the innate mirror, he would most likely not be able to survive. The next hour, then the blood demon roared and cursed in the cave. For the dead, Lu Chengqing has always been careless. Bite. You have cleared the hidden plot of the Qi refining period, and in all future dungeons, an additional dungeon entry will be opened. Is there such a good thing? So comfortable. One of my entries is not just a random bonus. Walk. Lu Chengqing came to the cave again, feeling extremely hot and thunderous. Pure yang thunder fire. Qi refining stage, foundation building stage, golden elixir stage, nascent soul stage. Natural materials and treasures. Purple. The wisp of thunder fire left behind after the combination of sky thunder and sky wood is extremely precious. Used to shape the body. Thunder spirit root +10, fire spirit root +10, can learn to master pure yang thunder fire. Used to make elixirs. Thunder and fire, power +100%, can learn to master pure yang thunder fire. Used to conceive babies. Pure yang nascent soul, not afraid of thunder, can learn to master pure yang thunder fire. Sharp. Lu Chengqing saw it for the first time. There are materials that can span the 4 realms, and they are all useful. And it's very useful. All I can say is, too excellent. No matter how excellent it is, just taking it out can suppress most evil cultivators below the foundation building stage. If used, pure Yang Thunder Fire can be mastered. Then you don't have to panic when you encounter evil cultivators in the future. Good. After you get out, immediately think of ways to get in shape. After Lu Chengqing thought about it, he took out the jade bottle of the spirit gathering pill and put the pure Yang Thunder Fire into it. Putting such a material with extraordinary power in the storage ring would probably destroy all other things. If you lose the medicinal properties of the spirit gathering pill, you will lose it if you lose it a little. Just improve your cultivation as soon as possible and use it up as soon as possible. Lu Chengqing searched deeper into the cave. He couldn't be alone in the foundation building stage. Blood demon, right? There are no boxes in the cave. But Lao Mo's storage ring was found, but he couldn't open it. It's all in vain. The storage ring requires corresponding spiritual knowledge to open. Even if it is broken, the contents inside will not explode. I don't know if there is any way to open it outside. Lu Chengqing thought for a while, then put the storage ring away, returned to the mountain stream, and picked up the materials dropped by the big demon. Bite. You have obtained the Blood Spirit Pearl X1. You have obtained Demon Blood X300. You have obtained low-grade Fine Stones X30. You have obtained low-grade Spiritual Stones X420. Blood Spirit Pearl. First-grade magic weapon. Refined with special techniques, integrated into the body of the demon, and combined with special mental techniques, it can be controlled. Demon Essence Blood. The demon energy and blood extracted by special mental methods can be used for the cultivation of special mental methods. Without the corresponding blood cultivation method, these things are basically useless. Lu Chengqing didn't care. A pure Yang Thunder Fire is worth many spiritual stones, materials, and treasure chests. Return to the cave for the 3rd time. Other people's homes are always useful. And, after the environment here was cleaned up by Chunyang Leihuo, it was very clean. Everything that can be burned has been burned, how can it not be cleaned? Click to open the breakthrough interface. Take the spirit gathering pill. Bite. When you took the elixir, the golden entry was loaded. Elixir body shaping after breakthrough, life plus 200, spiritual power plus 200, spirit plus 200, there is a 5% chance of adding 5 points of spiritual root qualifications. Start. Linhai City, Copy Square. Keons was preaching when a golden light suddenly fell from the sky. Wow, all the monks looked straight-eyed. The golden elixir avenue moves the world, the city lord is too powerful. No, it must be a person with immeasurable merit, and God is aware of it, so he is a special reward. The monks kept speculating, and some even knelt down to congratulate the city lord. Only Keons felt at a loss. The great road moves heaven and earth. Are you kidding me? Lord Nascent Soul preaches that there are no such wonders in heaven and earth. Could it be that after all these years of hard training, I have really understood the great way of heaven and earth? The next second, the sound of heaven is magnificent. Bite. Lu Chengqing completes the hidden plot of the Qi Refining Period Dungeon. When the monks in the city open the Qi Refining Period Dungeon, they can consume 10,000 spirit stones and open an additional dungeon entry. This is hereby announced. Phew. All the monks in the audience sprayed wildly. What? Is there any hidden plot in the copy? Why don't I know? Could it be that after 20 years of practicing Qi, all the things I learned are fake? Wait a minute. Thump thump thump. Tiandao just said, who the hell completed the hidden plot? Lu Chengqing. Hiss. The Lu Chengqing Tiandao mentioned is not the Lu Chengqing we know, right? Lord City Lord, what do you think? Keons's face almost cramped. Good guy. It's a good thing that I didn't get up to receive the reward from heaven. Otherwise, if I throw this man out, I, the city lord, will stop doing this and go to the mountains to hide my name. As for Lu Chengqing, it's impossible, right? He can't even survive in the dungeon. How can he complete a hidden plot that no one knows about? It's okay, there are a lot of people with the same name and surname. Keon stayed calm and didn't panic. Come here, go and check the duplicate records for me. Those named by Heaven's Law will be highlighted in gold in the copy record within 1 day. Lu Yun Immortal Pavilion. Let me just say that young master is different, right? Guan Yu said happily with the first-hand news. Hidden plot. Linhai City has not had a qi refining stage monk clear it for thousands of years. Ah, young master is so awesome. Lu Chenshui felt relieved. If you can get through the hidden plot, I think the young master will not be in danger in the dungeon, but... Guan Yu stepped forward and said, Miss, this is a hidden plot pass. No matter how domineering the sword sect is, the other sects can't just sit idly by, right? Well, Lu Chenshui could only comfort herself now. As long as the young master's talent is enough to defy the heavens, he can attract the attention of other sects. He does not dare to offend the sword sect because it is not worth it. Yes, as long as the profit is large enough, even the law of heaven can be offended. You're the only one with a poor mouth, be careful, God will kill you. Linhai City, Lingyun Street, right next to Dungeon Square. This is where the offices of some ordinary sects are located, also called Zongmin Street. The sect here not only recruits disciples during the graduation examination, but also recruits some outer disciples and handymen on a daily basis, and issues some tasks to the monks in the city. Certainly, a transcendent sect like the Jian sect does not need an office. The other stronger sects, whose strength can cover thousands of miles in radius, such as Xuanqiang sect, Zhengyi, etc., generally do not set up offices. The ones here are all small sects that can only develop in Linhai City. As for the sword sect, Xuanqiang sect, and Zhengyi, if they want to trade a large amount of materials or issue some tasks that the disciples in the sect do not do, or cannot do, they will directly assign them to the small sects here. Or it may be transferred to the city lord's palace for distribution, and it will not be directly distributed on the task list. Because that's too much trouble. That requires contacting a large number of qi refining monks, calculating tasks for them, and distributing rewards. Only small sects are willing to do this kind of thing. Diamond Gate. What a destined immortal, how can he even break through the hidden plot? Looking at the entire Qingyun prefecture, it seems that there are only the state capital and the city where the two true monarchs are located. Can you get through the hidden plot? Tisk tisk tisk, Jianzong is really willing to give up, don't you want this? What a pity, 30% of our business depends on Jianzong, I really can't afford to offend him. Nine Yang View, Lu Chengqing, good, good, good. He is not only a destiny, but also brings huge benefits to the whole city. 10,000 spirit stones are nothing in terms of the income from the dungeon, but if you open one more entry, the income will be huge. Even the basic material drop bonus is a huge profit. Who says it isn't? With the tens of thousands of qi refining stage monks in the city, the total income from monthly dungeons can be at least 10% or 20% more. If I were the city lord, I would probably wake up from my dream with a smile. Yeah, after 100 years of accumulation, our Linhai City may become one of the top 10 cities in Qingyun Prefecture. Yuheizong, ha ha ha, Jianzong must be regretting it now, right? That's a destiny talent. I broke through the novice dungeon record just after graduation, and it's such an abnormal record. Is this something that ordinary geniuses can compare to? Ha, Ganzei drove his sword light straight to the back mountain, took a breath, and then said, Senior sister, it has been determined that Lu Chengqing broke through the hidden plot. PFF'd. Ahem. Shu Ronning was still meditating and was choked by this sentence. The hidden plot of the qi refining period. He wants to kill at least one big demon who is at the peak of his qi refining stage, right? Qianzi was silent. If the hidden plot was just to kill a big demon at the peak of his qi refining stage, it would have been broken long ago after all these years. The problem is, it's not that simple, to be honest. Qianzi set a new record during the qi refining period, and he was a genius. However, he couldn't even find anything about the hidden plot in the copy, let alone penetrate it. Sister, depending on the difficulty of the dungeon, the hidden plot will most likely involve demons in the foundation building stage. Nonsense. Shu Ronning cursed secretly in her heart, don't I know? Just no. I just thought it was a ghost. He was a newly graduated student who had no magic weapons and almost no mental skills or sword skills. How could he penetrate it? Unless he is really a genius, he is extremely proud when he is born. Do you regret it? Of course Shu Ronning will not regret it, but it's a bit difficult to do now. Shu Ronning glanced at Keon's and knew that his mind had changed. Just as he was about to speak, he felt a sudden shock in his heart. When he raised his eyes, a golden sword light suddenly came. It's not sword energy. It's a flying book. Ancient seal script with gold characters condensed into the shape of a sword. The sharp sword intent contained in it made even Qianzi take 3 steps back and bow respectfully. Junior Keons, welcome the true king. Shu Ronning opened the sword book with some trepidation and whispered, Master. It's been so many years, but I haven't grown up yet. I'm still like a child. From the sword book, there were waves of sword sounds, which reached into the souls of the two of them. Shu Ronning, as everyone knows, the person you want to ban is also a child, and younger than you. With his age and cultivation, can he do anything to threaten our sword sect? Shu Ronning raised her pretty eyebrows and planned to explain, but... Don't talk nonsense, I already know it. Shu Ronning snorted stubbornly. Yes, let Master make a decision. Don't expect me to bear the reputation of strangulating the genius for you, but if word spreads from the sword sect, you can't just talk about it. Jianshu paused slightly. It seemed that even Zhenjin had a headache from this matter. Go and spread the word Qingyan immediately, our sword sect wants to open the mountain gate. What? Shu Ronning and Qianzi were shocked at the same time. There are still 30 years until the sword sect conference. Don't say more, the selection place is set to be in Linhai, at the end of the month. If that child can pass the test in one fell swoop and join the sword sect, no matter how angry you are, you can't argue with him. Do you understand? Shu Ronning turned her back to Keons and stuck out her tongue at the sword book. Disciple will obey the master's orders and will definitely select a group of outstanding disciples to strengthen the sect. You, after the conference is over, come back immediately for seclusion. If you don't break the nascent soul, you won't be able to leave the seclusion. After saying this, the sword and book burned up. Phew. Keons finally breathed a sigh of relief. In this way, the banning order was over. Even if Lu Chengqing cannot pass the level, Jianzong will not care about it anymore. Shu Ronning closed his eyes and said, Junior brother, I'll let you take care of everything. You don't need to call me until the end of the month. Sister, please rest assured. Keons bowed, turned around and left, but he was secretly stunned in his heart. Jianzong. The number of disciples recruited over the years has been extremely rare, and only some talented students who have recently graduated are recruited. However, Jianzong would open its gates once every 100 years. Monks of any realm can try it. By then, even if you can't join the inner sect of the sword sect, you will still have the opportunity to become an outer sect disciple or a handyman. This kind of opportunity, for monks from large sects who lacked cultivation in their youth, or who missed out on transcendental power for various reasons, is simply a perfect opportunity to change their fate. Every time a sword sect conference is held, it will inevitably become a grand gathering for monks within a radius of thousands of miles. Keons himself received the guidance from the true lord of the sword sect during a Jianzong conference that opened the gates of the mountain. Although he did not become a disciple, he benefited a lot, so he always treated him with the courtesy of a master. Now, because of Lu Chengqing's incident, Jianzong opened the gate 30 years in advance, and everything was solved. After the assessment is over and the ban is lifted, the other sects will also have something to say, and they will not come to rob people because of the sword sect's ban. Information. Naturally, Qianzi would not hide it. This is a major event, and it is not just Lu Chengqing. It must be spread widely and let more monks in the Qi refining stage, foundation establishment stage, and even the golden core stage know about it. More important, Linhai City's Qi refining period dungeon can open an additional entry. Looking at Qingyan, only a few cities can have such treatment. It is impossible for all the monks who are pursuing the sword sect to pass the level and join. Now that these monks are here, they may stay because of the additional entries in the dungeon. Linhai City rises. Keons took a deep breath. It was obviously a trivial incident between Lu Chengqing and Shu Ronning, but it ended up changing the fate of Linhai City. Now, I am the city lord. Then my luck will also change with Linhai City. Hiss. In a mountain cave. Bite. Congratulations on your successful breakthrough and reaching the 3rd level of the Qi refining stage. Life plus 265. Spiritual power plus 240. Spirit plus 230. Attack plus 10. Defense plus 10. Movement speed plus 5. If every breakthrough has the bonus effect of this elixir, then I may be a bit strong during this chi refining period. Lu Chengqing did some calculations. During the ordinary chi refining period, the improvement of life, spiritual power, and spirit is about 50 points each time. And I am 5 times their size. Regardless of survival, combat power, battery life, or use of magic weapons, they are far superior to monks of the same realm. Okay, let's go get some more cultivation. Lu Chengqing killed the blood-eating vulture before, and there was still some left after the cultivation breakthrough was used up. He only needed to kill some more to achieve another breakthrough. One day passed. News of the Sword Sect conference spread throughout Linhai, and even the nearby Fengxiao City and Biwan City were all aware of it. Zongmin Street. Ha, Jian Zong. Even if I regret it, I still want to save face and refuse to admit it. That's what I'm saying. How can you not want such a gift of destiny? Everyone, hurry up and prepare supplies. As soon as the Sword Sect conference opens, the monks from Qingyan province will gather together. Who knows, we will also need to recruit more outstanding disciples. That's right, whatever the Sword Sect doesn't want, they are all treasures in our hands. There are also many materials, magic weapons, and elixirs, so we need to prepare more. During the conference, the number of chi refining monks in the city can increase more than 10 times. If it is successful, it can directly equal our total income of 3, 5, or even 10 years. This time, thanks to Lu Chengqing's blessing, we can actually hold this once-in-a-century event 30 years ahead of schedule. The wind shakes the city, Yuan family. The Sword Sect conference started 30 years in advance in Linhai City. Is it just for the sake of Tianzhao Lu Chengqing? Snort, my Yuan family's reputation has been ruined, and you still want to survive. Just a genius, don't we, Fengyao City, have no genius? Liner, please lead a group of talented monks to Linhai City so that they can know that east of Qingyan, I am the only one who has good luck. Luyun Immortal Pavilion. Miss, it's such a happy event. Jian Zong is about to open the mountain gate. Wan Yu trotted over, jumping up and down. What? Lu Chenshui was shocked. Wan Yu said happily. As long as the young master can delay this period of time in the dungeon, even if the city lord no longer wants to take care of it, he will not be able to let Nangong do whatever he wants during the Sword Sect conference. What Lu Chenshui cares about is not this, but, Wanner, you said that Jian Zong suddenly opened the mountain gate and regretted it. Aren't they planning to pursue the young master? Wan Yu tilted her head and thought for a while. It's very possible, miss. After all, there are still 30 years until the conference. If you don't regret it, there is no reason to hold it in advance, right? The sword order thing. Lu Chenshui couldn't ask Jian Zong because he couldn't get there. There is no sword order. She didn't even have the qualifications to go up the mountain, let alone question others. Now, the Sword Sect conference was held. You said that if the young master comes out, he should be able to participate in the Sword Sect conference, right? It should be possible. The reason why the Sword Sect conference can invite monks from all over the world is because you don't chase the past or ask about your origins. As long as you pass the level, you can join the Sword Sect. Okay, Lu Chenshui was determined. With the talent of the young master, if you can practice successfully in 1 month, maybe you can pass the level. Then young master really needs to work harder. Wanner stuck out her tongue. The Sword Sect conference is not a graduation examination. Those monks may have practiced for decades. Lu Qinzu's eyes were extremely confident, and she hummed, young master has even revealed the hidden plot. How can he be no match for a group of casual cultivators in the chi refining stage? In the copy, Lu Chengqing killed a group of monsters nearby and returned to the mountain stream again. The cultivation gained is enough for a breakthrough. It's a pity that the box was not found, and the secret method was not revealed. Let's break through first. Bite. When you took the elixir, the golden entry was loaded. Sword spirit as medicine after breakthrough, attack power +30, swordsmanship qualification +5. Lu Chengqing came here for life and spiritual power, but he was given qualifications, and they were also qualified for swordsmanship. Very good. The importance of qualifications is simply. Lu Chengqing was a little too excited. None of this can be solved by a little excitement. The simplest question. Advanced mental skills do not require qualifications, but advanced swordsmanship definitely requires qualifications. If I remember correctly, green martial arts and spiritual skills should have at least 5 points, right? If you don't have the qualifications, even if you join the sword sect, you can only enter the Sutra Pavilion without getting anything. 5 o'clock. Although it is small, it is definitely a good start. If the elixir for the breakthrough can be given, then if you take the other elixirs, you will have a chance to get them. It should be that a better quality elixir is needed. Breakthrough. Lu Chengqing meditated in retreat, 1 day later. Bite. Congratulations on your successful breakthrough and reaching the 4th level of the Qi refining stage. Life plus 65. Spiritual power plus 40. Spirit plus 30. Attack plus 40. Defense plus 10. Movement speed plus 5. Swordsmanship qualification plus 5. Point to detailed properties. Swordsmanship qualifications. Basic qualifications for comprehending swordsmanship, speed of comprehension after entry, rarity of swordsmanship entries. Each point of swordsmanship qualification will increase the swordsmanship damage by an additional 1% and the swordsmanship speed by an additional 1%. Lu Chengqing let out a long breath. Finally, I no longer have to practice swordsmanship with a blank slate of qualifications. The gap caused by qualifications. In the world of cultivating immortals, it is an absolutely insurmountable chasm. If there are elixirs or treasures from heaven and earth that can change one's destiny, then naturally that's another matter. Ordinary people, if you don't have the qualifications, it's impossible to become an immortal. Brilliant swordsmanship cannot be learned without qualifications. The speed of enlightenment after getting started is as fast as heaven and earth. If someone else's swordsmanship is perfect in 3 years, but you can't reach a small level of enlightenment after 3 years, that's normal. What's even scarier is, sword cultivators with different qualifications will unlock different entries when they learn sword skills. Geniuses are always different. The same sword technique, in the hands of geniuses and ordinary people, is naturally 2 completely different sword techniques, one for heaven and one for earth. Lu Chengqing's swordsmanship is outstanding because of the golden entry. But these golden entries must be mined by oneself. If the qualifications are insufficient, those extremely powerful swordsmanship entries will never be available. Then, do you want to learn another level of swordsmanship? Lu Chengqing originally planned to brush up the demon accumulation in one go, break through to the 10th level of Qi refining, and then exit. Now, he suddenly obtained the swordsmanship qualification. The level of swordsmanship that originally took 7 or 8 days to unlock might not take that long. A sharpened sword never wastes time as a woodcutter. Lu Chengqing clicked on the comprehension interface and started to comprehend immediately. Comprehension, 100 points. Swordsmanship qualification, 5 points. 2 1,000ths, 5 1,000ths. Lu Chengqing saw that the comprehension progress bar was obviously 3 points faster than before, and he suddenly felt that this qualification bonus was simply unbelievable. Bite. Inspiration springs up. When you learn swordsmanship, you will be affected by your qualifications and gain an additional 50 experience points. 82 1,000ths. Can it be accelerated further? Good. Lu Chengqing finally got a taste of genius. The last level of swordsmanship. Originally, even if it was given for 7 or 8 days, there might not be hope. Now it seems that it definitely didn't take that long. Day 1, 455 1,000ths. The next day, 960 1,000ths. Bite. Inspiration springs up. When you learn swordsmanship, you will be affected by your qualifications and gain an additional 50 experience points. Bite. With successful comprehension, your wind-cutting sword technique has reached the level of quite proficient. Phew. Lu Chengqing studied hard for 2 consecutive days and finally reached the final level of Zanfang. There are a total of 4 levels of experience to unlock the swordsmanship during the Qi refining period. So far, that's the limit. Wind-cutting sword technique. Slashes a sword-shaped infuriating energy towards the target in front, causing 140% of the basic damage. Consumption. 6 points of spiritual power. Cooldown. 0.5 seconds. Beginner's introduction. Extraordinary sword power, attack power plus 100 points. Quite skilled. Save time, cooldown minus 50%. Small achievements. 1 Qi, 3 purities, stimulates 2 additional sword energies. Quite proficient. Destroying demons increases damage to demons by an additional 50%. Hiss, this shouldn't be an entry that ordinary people can write, right? Lu Chengqing was shocked. The 50% extra damage is really exaggerated. With his current damage, it would be more than 200 more damage, and knowing it would be more than 400 more. And, as the attack increases, the benefits will become higher and higher. Although only useful for monsters. But, slaying demons is the fastest way to increase your strength. In the Qi Refining Stage dungeon, there is such a vast map and such a large number of demons. If you don't have any strength, the demon will not fight back and will stand to kill you, but you won't be able to finish it. Exit. Lu Chengqing summoned Tianyu and came to the mountain stream. He felt that it was particularly bright tonight. Looking up, the moon fills the sky. Hey, today, when I have perfected my sword skills, the heaven and the earth have also been perfected. Lu Chengqing smiled knowingly and was about to step on his sword and leave, but the innate mirror at his heart trembled slightly. What's wrong? Lu Chengqing didn't think twice and drove Tianyu back first. If there is danger, don't look for it first, and then evacuate it. Could it be that the old demon has a sektmate, or some other demon he refined has appeared? Lu Chengqing was flying above Tianyu and could not find the source of the crisis. Except for the demons in the wilderness, they all emerged and started roaring at the full moon. Now, even if he couldn't find the danger, Lu Chengqing understood it. Tonight is anything but ordinary. Do you want to check? In this case, it is estimated that only by investigating the secrets can we gain something. Lu Chengqing is very frugal, but when he encounters an incomprehensible danger, if he doesn't use his magic weapon to check, won't he have to wait until someone dies to find out that the money has not been spent? If there is a magic weapon, just use it. Bite. You have consumed 1000 spirit points, and the query is successful. The moon fills the sky, and the demons dance wildly. In the dungeon during the Qi refining period, each domain is a level. If a passer cannot pass the level 10 days after entering, the dungeon will be closed. All demons give up their normal range of activities and begin to besiege the challengers. Moonlight will lock the location of the challenger for the monster, making it impossible to escape. If you are unable to face the challenge head-on, you can choose to exit the dungeon, but you cannot escape to other levels, otherwise it will trigger a larger-scale chaos of demons. The exit of the level breaker is considered a failure, and 3 times the copy cooling time will be given as a punishment. The person who breaks through the level uses a flying sword to fly in the air, and the demons dance wildly all night. It is regarded as a success in closing the level, and it is equivalent to a failure in breaking through the level. Is there such a copy level setting? Lu Chengqing really didn't know, otherwise he wouldn't have rashly chosen to retreat here. I thought it was because it was brighter outside. Unexpectedly, the moonlight only shines on me. In the entire night sky, I am the brightest. But, it doesn't matter now, I'm here to slay demons. The more they come, the better naturally, saving me the trouble of searching for them one by one. Boom, a terrifying 4-hoofed monster rushed out from the gravel mound where it usually lived. Its whole body was as black as ink, its pupils were burning with cold fire, and its head was horned and twisted. The demon caught a glimpse of where Lu Chengqing was under the moonlight. Without thinking, he shouted at the large number of little demons around him and launched a charge. Bow Fire Demon in the Wilderness. Realm, Peak of Qi Refining Stage. Age, 680. Position, Great Demon, Guardian of the Wilderness. Life, 11,800. Spiritual Power, 8,200. Attack, 148. Defense, 80. Spiritual Method, Yin Fire Clash quite proficient, Yin Fire Burning quite proficient. Magic Weapon, none. Male, habits, often slaying demons at night, attacking everything in sight with Yin Fire. The fire will never be extinguished, and the dead wood will have no spirit. Weakness, Sun Flame Ice Crystal, which can extinguish its fire. Strategy, do not be burned by Yin Fire, otherwise it will not be extinguished and the pain will be unbearable. You can only use martial arts and spiritual skills to keep a distance to deal with it, and be careful to dodge its collision, otherwise you may be killed on the spot. Evaluation, there are many demons under this demon. They seek evil at night and like to eat blood. If a righteous monk encounters it, he should kill it all. If he can refine it, he may also harvest the yin fire bead, which is a good fire attribute material. Precious. Kill them all. Lu Chengqing showed an innocent smile, stepped on the sky and came to the top of the group of demons, held the sword in his hand and said, Luo. Whoosh whoosh. The three-sword energy turned into lightning under the moonlight and plunged straight into the ground. Demons dance wildly. Too many. This is no longer a problem of hundreds of them, but the wilderness as far as the eye can see, everywhere. Not visible on weekdays. Now under the guidance of the moonlight, they are all out. Lu Chengqing didn't even need to aim. The sword energy landed on the ground and directly pierced the two bow fire demons. -558. -1114 understanding. Almost. Lu Chengqing secretly thought that the current damage is good, but to instantly kill monsters at the 8th or 9th level of the chi refining stage, at least it needs to be improved. But that's good. The understanding provided by Shantian Mirror is very high. Basically, it can be solved with 2 swords, and at most 3 swords. Lu Chengqing activated dozens of swords in one breath, killing more than a dozen Bohuo demons on the spot, and immediately retreated to the rear. Swish, swish, swish. The demons' spiritual skills and martial arts were all blasted over in one breath. This time, the scale was dozens of times more exaggerated than that time when I encountered Bingpo in the snowy mountains. The number of demons is here. The martial arts, spiritual techniques, and attack ranges of the chi refining stage are almost the same. If I can attack demons, the demon skills can also threaten me. Although Lu Chengqing is in the sky, there is no situation like the novice copy where the monsters cannot fight back and are completely massacred. But Feijian is still a big advantage. Not being surrounded by monsters on the ground is the biggest advantage. The innate realm comes first. Lu Chengqing glanced around, and saw that the demons behind him showed no resistance and would not attack each other. They were aiming towards him with clear goals. Once the monsters occupy all the ground, there are monsters everywhere. Anyone who dares to fall a little will die immediately. Lu Chengqing cannot hide, and must kill all the monsters before dawn. Otherwise, he will fail to break through the level, exit immediately, and will not be allowed to enter again within 3 months. Kill. Lu Chengqing used the Shantian realm to avoid demon attacks, and summoned Zanzan to directly attack the group of Bohu demons. Bang! Sword energy bloomed among the demons. The 3 swords flew out from 3 angles. Puff puff puff. Immediately, more than a dozen bow fire demons were killed, and the dark demon blood splashed all over the wilderness. Good. Lu Chengqing felt happy. With the demons concentrated, Zanfang's killing range is larger and more targets are killed. In this way, the efficiency is improved by an unknown amount. Fortunately, there is a flying sword. Only then can you control the flying sword to kill the monsters. If it had been him, he would have died long ago. Well, immortal cultivators just have to be more elegant and slay demons. How can they let themselves be stained with blood? Lu Chengqing walked on the sword, shuttled among the demons' spiritual magic, and fought for several days. Lu Chengqing is already familiar with the innate mirror and dodging spiritual techniques in battle. After a while, lack of spiritual power, Lu Chengqing stepped straight into the sky with his flying sword and took a short rest. A killing spree. At least half of the little Bohuo demon was killed, and some of the other demons were also killed, but the overall number of demons dancing wildly was still huge. Take the time to glance at your cultivation. 5022 6,000ths. Almost full. Lu Chengqing was secretly stunned. After a killing, his cultivation level soared so much in just a moment. If this is all done, the accumulated cultivation level can probably break through several realms in a row, right? Kill. Lu Chengqing was excited. Since entering the dungeon, most of them have been studying and practicing. How can I kill so happily? After recovering more than half of his spiritual power, he will end immediately. Come. When the spiritual power is below 30%, the recovery efficiency is the highest. Secondly, Lu Chengqing couldn't rest too long, otherwise he would never be able to go down again after letting the demons occupy all the wilderness. Zan. For a while, sword energy reigns supreme among the demons. When Lu Chengqing saw the largest bow fire demon, with bursts of yin fire burning all over his body, he immediately made a thought in his mind and controlled Zanzan to rush out from the group of demons, intending to kill the big demon first. Phew. Zan Zan scratched through the thick black skin on its waist, leaving only a bloody mark. Minus 355. What a tough skin. Lu Chengqing didn't say much. After Zan Zan killed him, he immediately turned around and fired 3 swords in succession. Puff puff puff. 3 sword energies were inserted into the back of Bohuo demon at the same time. Ouch! The big demon Bohuo never had a chance to attack Lu Chengqing. At this moment, he was furious and raised his head to the sky and opened his mouth. Hululu. Under the moonlight, a burst of black fire shot directly into the sky. The coverage area is so wide that it is actually over 100 meters. Lu Chengqing had the innate mirror and was prepared for it. He also knew what methods it had. He was not too close. He retreated at this moment and escaped safely. Continue. One wave of attacks killed more than 1,000 of its lives. Even a big demon, how many rounds of killing can it withstand? This time the yin fire burned, but it did not hit Lu Chengqing. After slowly falling to the ground, it instead burned the other demons and howled in pain. Ha! The yin fire is so mysterious that it will never be extinguished when it falls to the ground. The other monsters were burned completely crazy. Lu Chengqing immediately slashed out his sword cheerfully. Come on, come again. Under the full moon in the sky, the demon is already going crazy. Even if the big demon Bohuo could understand people's words, he didn't have the brains to pay attention at the moment. After being injured, he opened his mouth to roar, and another piece of sinister fire spewed out. Lu Chengqing adjusted several angles one after another, and actually used the big demon bow fire to cover the area with a radius of 1 kilometer with yin fire. For a while, the screams of demons are endless. From the corner of Lu Chengqing's eyes, he saw those demons trying to rush in frantically even though they were burned by the sinister fire. Lu Chengqing seemed to have some realization. Moonlight, only illuminate yourself. But under the chaotic dance of the demons, they have no reason and only have eyes for themselves. Do they want to come in and give themselves a try? However, when they walked a few hundred meters under the yin fire all over the ground, some little demons were burned to death. Certainly, they were burned to death by the evil fire of the great demon Bohuo, and it had nothing to do with them. Think of this. Lu Chengqing pointed casually. Clumsy. The sword energy cut through the yin fire and inserted into the body of the little demon in the fire. Bite. You defeated the dry land demon at the 7th level of chi refining and gained 32 points of cultivation. Is this okay? Kill instantly with one sword. Lu Chengqing's eyes suddenly lit up, and he immediately stopped caring about killing the big demon Bohuo. Swish swish swish. The sword energy was fired continuously, killing Zan Zonggang. All the demons that rushed into the central area of yin fire were killed with one sword. Ha ha ha. Lu Chengqing stepped on the flying sword and laughed heartily. The monsters that could not be killed with one sword are now killed suddenly with just one sweep of sword energy. They die very quickly. The big demon burns fire. He is worthy of being a guardian monster, his strength is tyrannical. No bragging, no blackmail. In the entire wilderness, there is probably no demon that can be the opponent of this Bohuo. Lu Chengqing's cultivation level has been soaring all the way, and he has easily accumulated over 10,000 points. Finally, a big demon stepped into the yin fire area. Compared with ordinary little monsters, big monsters have obviously stronger endurance and more lives. But Lu Chengqing didn't deal with it either. Let them burn in the fire, euphemistically called refining. As he continued to practice, the life of one of the great demons began to falter. Cut. Lu Chengqing stepped on the flying sword and fired his sword energy continuously, followed by Zan Zan. Puff puff puff. While breathing, dozens of sword energy hit the big demon one after another, killing it on the spot. With Lu Chengqing's current level of cultivation, it is actually not difficult to kill a big demon. 4th level swordsmanship. Kill demons and eliminate demons. Even the big demon couldn't bear it with one strike of the sword. More reasonably, there are only 3 sword energy shots, and within 1 or 2 breaths, dozens of them can be blasted out. Even the great demon with 10,000 blood. Even under Lu Chengqing's sword, he could not last more than 3 to 5 seconds. Hiss. Lu Chengqing himself was slightly stunned by this horrific injury. The first time I used it to kill demons, the effect was much stronger than I expected. This is not a matter of killing the little demon instantly, but killing the big demon too quickly. In the yin fire, the big demon won't even have a chance to show off its unique skills, and can be killed directly with the sword energy. Lu Chengqing was suddenly stunned after a quarter of an hour of killing. Hey, where's the demon? Where have all my monsters gone? A quick glance. The yin fire area was full of burned corpses of the remaining monsters, while further away, there was silence without any sound. Hulu, Hulu. The last one, the big demon Bohuo, as a gatekeeper, all its spiritual power was consumed by burning it with yin fire. However, Lu Chengqing's black cloud Taoist robe was still brand new, and there was not even a speck of dust on his hair. It's over. Lu Chengqing glanced at his cultivation. 82,506 thousandths. Wan Shouwei, how many monsters do you need to kill? 2 or 3,000. Lu Chengqing remembered that he had killed more than a dozen big monsters alone. There are probably only so many demons in the entire wilderness. This is after doubling the number of demons. There are only so many. Do the math. In just one level of the Qi refining stage dungeon, the profit is almost 100,000 cultivation base. Ordinary monks come in as a team and earn a total income of about 30,000 yuan. The premise is that you have to travel through the wilderness and kill all the monsters to get this number. The moon fills the sky, and the demons dance wildly. It doesn't seem like there's anything wrong. Lu Chengqing thought about it again, and it seemed that the degree of this crisis was not enough to warrant a reminder. Certainly, for ordinary monks, it is still very dangerous. But as long as it's a flying sword, then... No, there are no flying monsters this time around. Lu Chengqing suddenly paused and remembered. Blood-eating vulture in the wilderness. These guys who were driven by the blood demon should have killed all the flying demons in the wilderness, and I eliminated the blood-eating vultures in advance, so I didn't encounter the flying demons tonight. Otherwise, in the situation just now, the ground is full of demons, and there are a large number of blood-eating vultures in the sky. It's dangerous. Lu Chengqing's heart trembled. There is nothing wrong with Shantian Mirror's reminder, it is dangerous. Only some episodes and accidents allowed me to successfully pass the level. Not cleared yet. Lu Chengqing waved his backhand, and Zan Zan turned into purple lightning, which went straight into the pupil of the great demon Bo Huo. Bite. You defeated the Bo Fire Demon in the wilderness at the peak of the Qi refining stage and gained 1805 points of cultivation. Bite. After you defeat the gatekeeper of the wilderness and pass 2 more levels, you can leave the dungeon safely. Is this just the 3rd level? Lu Chengqing smiled slightly and didn't leave in a hurry. After all, the materials and things all over the floor haven't been sorted yet. 10 times the material. Too many. The place is full. When the spirit stones are gathered together, you can smell them. Bite. You have obtained spiritual stones x 825,000. You have obtained low-grade spiritual stones x 12,100. Income from spiritual stones, 2 million. Hiss. Lu Chengqing knew he would get rich this time, but he never expected he would be so rich. 10 times. And there is a big demon. And it can also explode important and expensive materials tenfold. Where's the fine stone? You have obtained low-grade fine stones x 4,800. Lu Chengqing was completely shocked by the number in front of him. 4,800 low-quality stones. How long does it take for this to be used up? At market price, 14.4 million. Lu Chengqing even thought that he had made a mistake and calculated it several times. 14 million. Can you buy a complete set of all the materials for building the Heavenly Dao Foundation? Hiss. The copy income of golden entries is really exaggerated. Lu Chengqing was secretly speechless. But this was also thanks to the fact that all the demons gathered together, and Yinha cooperated, so they killed them quickly. Otherwise, if I were practicing while looking for monsters to kill, I would never have this efficiency and benefit. The value of the remaining materials is completely beyond calculation. It is possible to have at least 10 million spirit stones. If it were more, it would not be something Lu Chengqing could calculate. If so many things were thrown away to Wanyu and Chen Shui, how could the 2 of them adjust their abacus all night long? Bite. You have obtained the boulder technique, gray spiritual technique. You have obtained the lightning technique, green spiritual method. You have obtained Zan Gang Jin, green heart technique. You have obtained the vertical sword skill, green S Shen skill. Spiritual methods cannot be mastered without spiritual roots. Besides, there is no time to practice more. Lu Chengqing still pays more attention to mental and physical skills. This has not been obtained before. Zon Gang Jin. Qi refining period. Green. Condensate Zon Gang and increase attack. Good. Lu Chengqing was worried about how close his attack was, and how he couldn't kill the little demon in the Qi refining stage in seconds. This book definitely needs to be revised, but there is no rush now. Long sword body. Qi refining period. Green. Walk with your sword, come and go as you please. Requirements. 10 points of swordsmanship qualifications. Well, Lu Chengqing's heart felt so happy that it felt like it was about to fall instantly. 10 points of qualifications. That's not a little difficult. It's really difficult. Taking elixirs and breaking through realms does not always lead to swordsmanship qualifications. Unless luck is against the sky, or you can rely on other heavenly materials, earthly treasures or elixirs to improve your abilities. Otherwise, it will be difficult to get 10 points of swordsmanship qualifications in the short term. After packing my things, I looked around and found no boxes. What a pity, the dancing demons are going to eat up many of my golden treasure chests. The last time Lu Chengqing killed the blood-eating vulture, he didn't find the treasure chest. This time, demons dance wildly. All the monsters ran away from their habitats, and the treasure chest naturally stayed in their lair. The wilderness is so vast, dozens of kilometers long, where can we find it? If you want to check the innate mirror, you probably have to use hidden information to find out. For the treasure chest, was it delayed for more than 10 days in the wilderness after clearing the customs? Lu Chengqing thought about it and let it go. Now that we have time and the ability to slay demons, there are still many great demons in other domains, and they are not all dead. By the way, the lair of the great demon Bohuo seems to be not far away. Lu Chengqing still remembered the location, raised his flying sword and searched for it. Late at night, copy square. It stands to reason that at this time, all the strategy copies have been entered, and the casual cultivators peddling outside should also be finished. But, tonight is very lively. The moon fills the sky, and demons dance wildly. Hey, do you think Lu Chengqing can survive tonight? Impossible. I bet that he will come out in 10 days, and there are 1,000 spiritual stones. But, he has already broken through the hidden plot. It's not like he doesn't have the strength to deal with the big monster. Maybe he has already passed the first level. So many people can't figure out the hidden plot. Most likely it's not a matter of strength, but something is missing and has never been discovered, right? Say no more. Even if it's a matter of strength, he has to kill the gatekeeper. Before you read it, the dungeon records showed that he had not passed a single level. You have to know that in every level of the dungeon, there are many monsters that are good at hiding. If you go to guide them on weekdays, they are extremely difficult to find. But today, they all come out in one go, and they target you and besiege them. Tisk, tisk, anyone who has experienced it will either die or come out. I've never heard of anyone who killed all the demons in Luanwu. It may be possible for monks in the foundation building stage. After all, they have mastered the existence of true spirits. The damage and range of martial arts and spiritual methods are completely different. Tonight, Qianzi is here. No, he was always there, but tonight he specially asked people to pay attention to the copy record. City Lord, Lord City Lord. The copy record has been refreshed. Qianz opened his eyes suddenly, and the bright sword light even illuminated a square. Speak. The records show that Lu Chengqing has passed the first level. What? Qianz stood up suddenly. Are you sure you read it correctly? No, my subordinates confirmed it several times. Qianz thought about countless possibilities today, but there was no possibility that he was killing the demon flurry by force. Calculate the time, the demon flurry should have been activated for a while, right? Yes, the subordinate replied. Before the full moon, there was no change in the copy record. But after the full moon, in less than an hour, the record showed that he passed the first level. He really killed the demon Luan Wu. Of course Qianzi knew that Lu Chengqing was capable of killing monsters, and he could kill big monsters. But, he has no magic weapon to protect himself, nor any superb swordsmanship. How can he deal with the overwhelming demons? Fan, it seems that everything can only be known until he comes out. But whatever, there is a high probability that the 3 levels of the Qi refining stage dungeon will not be able to hold him back. Good. Qianzi was about to inform Shu Ronning when he suddenly stopped. Haha, come here, hurry up and get me a set of materials for building the foundation of Heavenly Tao. This bet. There is no need to wait until the end of the month, it is already a lost cause. But, Qian's lost happily, and lost very happily. Come here, serve the wine. Since you have waited with me for so long, and finally waited until the day when you were proud of your death, why don't you leave tonight and just have a drink with me here? Everyone was overjoyed when they heard this. They were happy to have a drink with Master Jindan and the Lord of Linhai City, even if they lost the bet. Congratulations, City Lord. Congratulations, City Lord. I, Linhai City, am proud of the world. I am destined by destiny and will surely rise. Qian's waved his hand and said with a hearty smile, ha 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 ha, today, it's not for me or Linhai, it's just for the genius. Come on, do it. Everyone raised their glasses and shouted. Congratulations to the genius, do it. Uncle Fu has been squatting in the dungeon square, bowing obediently not far behind the city lord. But at this moment, he couldn't squat anymore. Carefully taking advantage of everyone's celebration, he quietly slipped back to Nangong's house. Master, something bad is going on. Then Lu Chengqing entered the Qi refining stage dungeon for the first time. Not only did he break through the hidden plot, but he also killed the demons dancing around. He seemed to have the ability to clear the level directly. Nangong Chen woke up from his dream. What did you say? He, a recent graduate, is going to complete the book by himself. He's only 18 years old, and he only has access to the Qi refining stage copy. Uncle Forbes didn't believe it either, but, indeed, the city lord stayed in the square until night. After making sure that he could pass the customs, he was in a happy mood and invited all the monks present to have a drink. It's over. Nangong Chen's heart skipped a beat. Chapter 51. Nangong Chen hasn't slept well in the past few days, and now he is even more upset. As soon as the Sword Sect conference came out, many people didn't care about Lu Chengqing's ban. There were even rumors that the Sword Sect was testing Lu Chengqing's determination and intended to let him pass the conference. Now, the city lord has deliberately made such a gesture. It seems that even if the Zhangzong ban is not lifted, he may die to protect himself. Nangong Chen's face turned pale. If Jianzong is really testing Lu Chengqing, then my Nangong family's actions are like shooting themselves in the foot. A truly gifted son-in-law has ended up in such a desperate situation. This is simply unbelievable. Nangong Chen couldn't figure out how he got to this situation. 10,000 steps back, even if Jianzong doesn't trouble us by then, with that boy's destiny and immortal talent, what will happen if he achieves anything in the future? Asshole, are you going to let me sit here and wait for him to come and kill my whole family? Uncle Fu pondered for a while and then said firmly, the master is right. After a young prodigy has achieved cultivation, it is not uncommon for him to slaughter his entire family of enemies. So as long as Lu Chengqing lives, there will be no way for us to survive. So, for the present plan, the only way is to rely on the Yuan family. Nangong Chen himself was stunned. Are you stupid? The Yuan family hasn't settled the accounts with us yet. Uncle Fu. No, the Yuan family is angry because their unmarried daughter-in-law has ruined their reputation, and this is all Lu Chengqing's doing. What does it have to do with us? That makes sense. Nangong Chen. Keep talking. Uncle Fu followed. Lu Chengqing is now extremely talented, and the reason why Qianzi wants to die is because he values his destiny. Think about it, Lu Chengqing has just been born and has become a genius, and he has also broken through the hidden plot. In the future, if he becomes a genius again in the Qi refining stage, and breaks the hidden plot in the foundation building stage, the scenery of Linhai City will be overshadowed in an instant. The wind shakes the city. Even Qingshan City may not be able to suppress it. With one more entry in the copy, the monk will gain 10% or 20% more income. This is not ordinary luck. As a city lord, his income is also higher. With the extra income, it will naturally be smooth sailing for him to practice again. Snort. Nangong Chen snorted coldly. Even if there is no hidden plot in the foundation establishment stage, just based on the entries in the Qi refining stage dungeon, he thinks that he wants to be on par with the three main cities of Qingyan, right? Fu Bo nodded and said, exactly. The change in luck has caused his extinguished desire to compete for the main city to revive again. He follows the city lord, and whoever of the two can become nascent soul first can be promoted to the main city and gain control of the 12 cities in the east of Qingyan. If there is another advantage in the dungeon entry, it will be a sure thing. Quote, Master, think about it, he and Lu Chengqing are in the same boat now, and they have to protect it to death. But with such momentum, Feng Yao City cannot sit idly by. So, they follow Feng Yaocheng and the Yuan family, and they are mortal enemies. Master, think about it again. When we entered Feng Yao City, wasn't it because we saw the decline of Linhai and the rise of Feng Yao, so we prepared to leave a way out? The opportunity is right in front of you now. Nandong Chen was finally moved. You mean, before the Sword Sect Conference, we will completely switch to Feng Yao City, and even join his Yuan family? That's right, Uncle Fu said as expected. As long as we can unite with the Yuan family and kill Lu Chengqing during the conference, all problems will be solved by themselves. By then, Qianzi, who has lost his genius, will no longer have the capital to compete with Feng Yao City. Even if he is not afraid of offending us to death. With a background from Feng Yao City and the Yuan family, we can still live happily in Linhai City. If Fengxiao City is promoted to the main city in the future, then the 12 cities in the east will all be the sphere of influence of my Nandong family. Nandong Chen was silent. When he didn't stop Lu Chengqing at the beginning, besides not wanting to lose Feng Yao City's business, he also thought that the Destiny Immortal was born in Linhai. If there were changes in the future, Linhai would not have no chance of being promoted to the main city. Now that we have to make a decision, this is still the only thing we can bet on. Go ahead and do it. The reason why our Nandong family is still standing today is because we made the right bet back then, the old city lord. It's still a gamble now, but as long as you win, the future is limitless. Even if you are in charge of a city, you can't know. And, the elder of Xuanqiang sect, Yan Zhenghai, please keep in touch. He was the one who issued the underworld pursuit order. Once Lu Chengqing, the destined immortal, succeeds in the future, he will be the first to die, not me. In the wilderness, Lu Chengqing finally found the lair of the great demon Bohuo based on his memory. Found it. Lu Chengqing looked at the treasure box inlaid with dark green pearls and jade, and suddenly became happy. The treasure chest of the guardian demon is indeed of a higher grade, but sorry, it's still low to me. This time, I really need a magic weapon, right? Protective weapon. Is it unreasonable not to open a protective magic weapon from the green treasure chest in the foundation building stage? The requirements are really not high. I haven't opened a magic weapon like yours in the Shantian realm, right? Lu Chengqing made a wave of metaphysical operations and then opened the treasure chest. Bite. When you opened the treasure chest, the golden entry was loaded. Golden treasure. The treasure chest you open must be golden. Bite. You have obtained a treasure of heaven and earth, a wisp of yin fire. You have obtained the first grade magic weapon bow fire demonic pot. Withdraw funds. That must be out. But, it seems that I still haven't found the magic weapon I want. Bow fire demon pot. Attack magic weapon. Lu Chengqing thought for a moment. That's fine. If we can activate the yin fire to burn, it will be much easier to slay demons in the future. Bohuo demon pot. First grade magic weapon. Blue. Acquired yin fire. Refining medicine for all demons. It can activate the acquired yin fire and use it to attack the enemy. Acquired yin fire can be cultivated and grown, and requires relevant attributes of heaven, materials and earth treasures. You can put the monster into the pot and refine it when collecting. The lower the monster's life, the higher the success rate. When refining, the lower the monster's realm, the higher the success rate. Yin fire burning. Yin fire attack area plus 30%, power plus 30%. The difference between yin and yang. When yin fire is refining a female, the success rate is plus 10%. Can you still refine demons? Lu Chengqing had already planned to break through the realm first and use up his cultivation base after he got it done. Not anymore. I must refine this demon pot today. Snort. Snowy ice soul, right. Killing you is cheap. Refining, must be refining. Think of this. Lu Chengqing directly found a clean place in the big demon's lair, sat cross-legged and meditated, and began to refine the magic weapon. Tianxin enters the Tao. will not be rejected by any magic weapon, and the magic weapon refining efficiency increases by 300%. Lu Chengqing meditated for a day and finally opened his eyes. It's done. Bohuo Demon Pot. First grade magic weapon. Blue. Acquired Yin Fire. Refining medicine for all demons. Upgradable. It can activate acquired Yin Fire and use it to attack the enemy. You can put monsters into the pot and refine them. Activate Yin Fire. Beginner. Consume 300 spirit points to spray out Yin Fire, causing 10 to 30 points of Yin Fire damage to targets within the range every second for 60 minutes. Injecting spiritual stones can increase the burning time of Yin Fire, and each low-grade spiritual stone increases the time by 1 minute. Once the Yin Fire burns the target, it cannot be extinguished naturally. It requires water attribute elixirs of the same level and spiritual magic to extinguish it. If it encounters Yang Yan ice crystals, it will damage the Yin Fire root and make it permanently unusable. Collect monsters. Beginner. Consume 300 points of spirit. The base success rate for demons below 50% health is 5%, and the base success rate increases by 5% for every 10% health reduction. When the level of the demon is higher than that of the magic weapon, the success rate will be reduced by 10% for each level. A maximum of 5 monsters can be stored in the pot. Refining the demon. For beginners, it consumes 300 spirit points to refine the demon and drive it for yourself. The success rate during the refining period is 50%. The success rate of the demon decreases by 10% each time the demon reaches a higher realm. The refined demon lowers itself to a greater level. Each time the refined demon is released, 300 spirit points are consumed based on the first level of the refining stage. The higher the demon level, the higher the consumption. The released monster consumes 1 point of spirit per second based on the first level of Qi refining stage. The higher the monster level, the higher the consumption. When the refined demon breaks through the golden elixir stage, there is a 5% basic probability of successfully transforming. Bite. When you use the magic weapon, the golden entry is loaded. Pure Yin Fire. The Yin Fire attribute is transferred to pure Yin. The damage is plus 100%, the duration is plus 100%. It requires a higher level of water attribute elixir and spiritual method to contain it. It cannot be completely extinguished if it is not pure Yang ice crystal. Pure Yin refining. Pure Yin Fire can only refine female demons. The basic refining success rate is plus 50%, and the demonization formation efficiency after refining is 100%. Attack and refine in one. This magic weapon is really rare. Lu Chengqing really doesn't know much about magic weapons. But this kind of dual-function magic weapon is definitely a rare commodity. As an attack weapon, the power of this ray of Yin Fire is really scary. 10 to 30 points per second, and after the entry is strengthened, it will be 30 to 60 points. It seems very little, but as long as the enemy is burned, it will be a full 120 minutes and 7,200 seconds. This kind of damage, even if it is a foundation building period, will still burn him alive, right? Lu Chengqing directly summoned the demon pot and faced the area in front. Go. Hoo hoo. The Yin Fire slowly spurted out from the demon pot in a pure black color. After a few seconds, it completely covered the area of dozens of square meters in front. Sure enough, the casting speed is the biggest problem. The great demon Bohuo used this move at that time. It covered a huge area, but because of its slow speed, it still couldn't threaten him. Lu Chengqing thought for a while. If you are fighting a demon or an immortal cultivator, as long as you show your gourd, the opponent, if he is not a fool, should know how to dodge and dodge, right? After all, except for the special circumstances like yesterday, how could any demon or monk be so stupid as to not run away from the fire, or even rush into the fire to take a bath? Lu Chengqing sighed secretly. It's strong, but it's not easy to hit people. I guess you'll have to make some secret calculations to have a chance. Unless the other party doesn't know that I have this treasure and rushes up blindly, in that case, as long as the distance is close, there is a chance to burn him. Besides, this Yin Fire can be strengthened by refining magic weapons. I am just a beginner now and am not proficient. I will refine it more in the future and reach the level of the great demon bow fire, and it will become a very terrifying trump card. Except for attacking, Lu Chengqing still thinks that collecting and refining is very practical. Letting monsters assist in combat is the best method. Even if it is used as a human shield, it is also excellent. If you can use some spiritual techniques, it will be even more enjoyable to fight. Certainly, these are all things for later. It doesn't matter whether you can find the right demon or not. Lu Chengqing is not slow in killing demons himself. Now there is only one focus for this ability, and that is revenge. As a cultivator, if you have a grudge, don't avenge it. Then isn't this immortal cultivating in vain? Even if your heart is kind and you don't want to take revenge, in the future, if your inner demons arise and your thoughts are not smooth, you will still harm yourself. So this revenge must be avenged. Walk. Lu Chengqing didn't care that the 100,000 cultivation levels were useless, and he was not in a hurry to understand the mental method. He immediately stepped on the flying sword and walked all the way to the snowy area. Tens of kilometers of wilderness disappeared in the blink of an eye. After passing through a section of primeval dense forest, we returned to the snowy area. On the road, even if he saw the little demon, Lu Chengqing just ignored it, even if he could kill it with a sword. Bent on revenge, Lu Chengqing faced the wind and snow, walked upstream, and climbed to the snow-capped mountains. It should be this area, right? To be honest, Lu Chengqing deliberately noted the terrain, but in the snow-covered mountains, everything was the same and it was difficult to distinguish. No matter, kill. Lu Chengqing's desire for revenge is to kill all the ice spirits in this snowy area. Kills on. The purple lightning cut through the snow, inserted directly into the deep snow layer, and stirred hard. Bang bang bang. The layers of snow suddenly collapsed, and strange monsters shaped like pure white ice were shocked out. The one I'm looking for is you. Lu Chengqing didn't give the opponent a chance to use the ice spike at all. He raised his hand and struck out with 3-sword energy. Minus 1180 understanding. Click. The Bing Po Jing didn't even resist a sword energy, but cut it into pieces of ice with a knowing sword move. Bite. You defeated the ice soul spirit at the 9th level of chi refining and gained 31 points of cultivation. This monster is deep in the snow-capped mountains. It is good at sneak attacks, masters spiritual methods that are extremely difficult to avoid, and can also ambush in groups. Being strong means being strong, but life is also really low. Compared to the monsters in the wilderness, the ice soul spirit is still very fragile. As long as he reveals his understanding, he will be killed instantly with one sword. Swish, swish, swish. Lu Chengqing stepped on the sword to slay the monsters, sweeping all the way, killing most of the dozens of ice soul spirits in front of him. It feels good. Revenge is all about being happy. Lu Chengqing dodged a few ice spikes, and his eyes fell on several seriously injured Jingli Jing below him. Humph, even if you want to die now, it's not that easy. These are all little demons who were chopped down by a sword but survived. Lu Chengqing waved his hand, and the bow-fire demonic pot appeared out of thin air around him. Boom! The spout of the pot was opened, aiming at an ice soul essence whose lower limbs were severed and unable to move. The airflow condensed by the yin fire surged out from the mouth of the pot, but it did not kill the little demon. Instead, it wrapped around the yin fire, bound it tightly, and then pulled it into the pot. During the chi refining period, the highest success rate for collecting demons is 25%. But it is also difficult to cut down the demon's health to less than 10%. Lu Chengqing's sword was too fierce. 2 sword strikes would kill him, but with one sword, if he didn't use his wits, he would probably kill about 70% of his life. There was no way to control him more precisely. The ice soul spirit struggled for a moment under the demon pot, and finally escaped from the yin fire. The demon pot also took back the yin fire and closed the mouth of the pot. Bite. Your magic weapon, the Bohuo demonic pot, failed when collecting it. Come again. Lu Chengqing meditated for a day and felt full of energy. I don't believe it. Can't even make one. The monster that failed to collect cannot be collected again in the short term, otherwise it will still fail. Cut. Next. Boom. The mouth of the pot was opened, and it was pointed at an ice spirit again. With the comfort and pull of the yin fire, I was about to catch it. See. With a few sudden blows, the ice soul spirit broke away from the yin fire and ran away. The success rate is really low, but it's okay. Lu Chengqing still had energy and continued to try. If not today, then tomorrow. Anyway, this revenge must be avenged. Ice spirit. When it is said that it needs to be refined, it must be refined. If you say you want to torture, you must torture every day. Doing what you say is the basic moral quality of a cultivator. The third time. This time it went extremely smoothly, and the little demon was taken in by the demon pot without much struggle. Good. Lu Chengqing fired his sword energy continuously, killing all the remaining little demons. Look at the bow fire demonic pot again. Snowland Ice Soul Essence. Status. For refining, Lu Chengqing put away the materials and spirit stones, intending to refine them on the spot, but then he remembered something. Wait a minute, isn't there a big demon? After killing all the way, the big demon didn't show up. Logically speaking, there must be at least one, right? Let's look for it. If you don't kill the big demon, it won't be easy to retreat and refine. Think of this. Lu Chengqing pressed on the area where the Bingpo Jing was and explored all the way up. On the road, kill all the little monsters you encounter. Leave no one behind. Revenge means destroying the family. Lu Chengqing finally felt better, even more comfortable than yesterday when he killed all the demons and cleared the wilderness. Fight your way to the top of the snowy area. Enter the eyes. A valley was squeezed out between the two snow-capped mountains. Hiss. Lu Chengqing took a deep breath and felt that his lungs were about to freeze. There is no snow falling in the valley, but it is ice as far as the eye can see. It is extremely cold, extremely cold, extremely cold. Treasures from heaven and earth. Lu Chengqing's first thought was not to put on more clothes, but to think of the previous scene of Chunyang Lehuo. Abundant spiritual energy, visions of heaven and earth. There must be a treasure. I just don't know if it's easy to get. If it was as difficult as hiding the plot, I'm afraid it would be troublesome. Lu Chengqing collected demons several times, but he no longer had enough energy to explore the secrets. Go and take a look first before talking. Once inside the valley, the ground was pure ice blue, as if it were a flat lake in the sky that was frozen by extreme ice in an instant. Semicolon. Something is different here. Of course Lu Chengqing will not land. As a monk, whenever you get your shoes dirty when you go out, you show disrespect for Fagian. The ice lake was not big, and it reached the center in a matter of seconds. Further forward, there were no traces of man-made structures or the great demon's lair. But all the killings of the ice soul spirits were directed here. When Lu Chengqing was confused, the innate mirror on his chest buzzed. Go up. Lu Chengqing didn't hesitate. He paused, then jumped into the sky with his flying sword. Bang! The glacial lake below suddenly exploded, and countless ice spikes shot out instantly, covering almost half of the valley. Fortunately, it was upward, otherwise simply by accelerating, I might not be able to escape this distance. I knew there was something wrong with you. Lu Chengqing felt something strange as soon as he looked at the ice lake. If he hadn't been out of energy, he would have checked it out. Now lean over and explore again. Among the exploding ice spikes, a graceful figure made entirely of pure ice slowly emerged. The natural crystal-like structure reflected all the surrounding light, condensing a soul-stirring image. Beautiful picture. In a daze, the ice spikes that exploded around turned into blooming petals, and it was the short-lived stamen. Its icy body has arms and legs, body but no clothes. Its figure is clearly that of a woman, but its facial features cannot be distinguished, as if it is wearing an ice sculpture mask, making it difficult to spy. Although it is naked, a luxurious cloak made of crystal ice spikes hangs on its shoulders. Like a phoenix's tail, it spreads all the way to more than 10 meters away. Snowy Ice Demon Queen. Realm. Peak of Chi Refining Stage. Age. 800. Position. Great Demon, Guardian of the Snowy Land. Life. 19,800. Spiritual Power. 26,100. Attack. 220. Defense. 180. Spiritual Techniques. Ice Falls quite proficient, Ice Spike Storm quite proficient, Ice Summoning quite proficient, Ice Freeze quite proficient. Magic Weapon. None. Female. Habits. Living at the bottom of the snowy glacial lake all year round, because they don't like to be disturbed, they often place a large number of ice spirits near their nests for defense. It has lived in the ice lake for a long time, and can use the aura of the ice lake to quickly restore life and spiritual power, and the cooldown of spiritual magic is also very short. Weakness. Pure Yang Fire. Strategy. The Queen of Ice has extremely strong defense and stronger recovery ability. The team of ordinary monks in the Qi refining period is invincible. Only by relying on yang attribute flames and continuous killing can it be possible to succeed. If the strategy takes more than 10 minutes, you must retreat, otherwise the Ice Queen will trigger an avalanche and wipe out everything. Evaluation. The Ice Queen is a big demon that rarely appears in Qi refining stage dungeons. If it can be collected, it will be of extraordinary value. Especially after the transformation, it will be of great benefit to the Ice attribute golden elixir. Real people often buy hundreds of golden elixirs at high prices. Years are not available. If possible, priority should be given to collecting rather than killing. Did you summon the Ice Spirit? Good. Every wrongdoer has his own debtor, and today we found the right person. Now even if the information queried says that Queen Bing must be killed, Lu Chengqing must collect it. Zan Feng. 3 rays of sword energy came down from the sky and slashed straight towards Binghu. She is no ordinary demon. As a gatekeeper, he is stronger. And, every time you enter the Qi refining stage dungeon, the terrain and monsters will change. This demon will not be refreshed every time it is copied. Other great demons have 2 spiritual and martial arts skills, but she is different, having 4. And the introduction of the guide is also extremely difficult. In the ordinary Qi refining stage, the team cannot kill him. It does not mean that a monk cannot kill him, but that even if you form a team, you cannot kill him. Ding ding ding. 3 sword Qi struck Binghu's body first, making a sound like crystal shattering. -260. -554 understanding. -528 understanding. This defense. Lu Chengqing thought he had made a mistake. With my attack and damage, I can't even hit you. How can I kill the other monks? Never mind. As long as I can kill. The sword energy in Lu Chengqing's hand fired continuously, slashing Zan in a row. Right now, Queen Bing woke up from her deep sleep, looked up at the sky, her eyes were as bright and cold as gems. Whoosh! The cloak behind Queen Bing suddenly shook to the sky. Whoosh whoosh! Rows of ice spikes blasted out like a torrential rain. Hiss! Even though Lu Chengqing had the innate mirror to remind him, his scalp was numb from the sudden ice spike storm. A bad feeling came over me. Lu Chengqing recalled the scene where he was sneak attacked by a group of ice souls when he first arrived in the dungeon. Just this time, the Ice Queen alone can unleash an ice spike attack that far exceeds that of a dozen little demons. The distance between the dense ice spikes was very small, leaving little room for dodge. Lu Chengqing had no movement skills. He could only rely on the innate mirror to judge the trajectory of the attack and find a safe place. It was impossible for him to dodge with difficulty from the Ice Queen. He could only keep the distance. The next second, the Ice Queen unscrewed her windbreaker, and a storm of ice spikes formed in the valley, swirling into the sky like a tornado. Lu Chengqing now knows how difficult it is for the Ice Queen. Why are some golden elixir cultivators unable to collect it even after collecting it for a lifetime? This is just one move. It feels like it can take over all the monks in the Qi refining stage. But the Ice Queen was not done yet, with a gentle wave of her crystal-like arms. Miso miso miso. Dozens of ice spirits emerged from the ice lake and attacked Lu Chengqing from all directions. Quote. The idea that Lu Chengqing had just grasped was now a bit unsatisfactory. I don't believe it. You're just an Ice Queen, and I can't kill you. While talking, Lu Chengqing was about to use his tyrannical life to kill her and fight her. Etc. Do I have pure yang fire? There is obviously something for restraint, why not use it? Lu Chengqing slapped his forehead, went to the higher sky, and directly took out the jade bottle containing pure yang thunder fire. Thunder fire is also fire, after all it belongs to pure yang. Go! Lu Chengqing opened the jade bottle and threw it away. Boom! In the snowy valley, a sudden rise. Ah no! It was a scorching sun that suddenly set. Temperature. Instant surge. Boom! A muffled thunder resounded through the mountains. And the pure yang thunder fire also fell into the lake at this moment. Bang! There was a loud bang. All the ice spikes on the lake surface were blown to pieces, and were evaporated into steam by the pure yang thunder fire on the way. Ah! The Queen of Ice let out a sharp scream, raised her arms in anger, and sprayed out the freezing airflow that was enough to freeze the air in an instant. Pity! These airflows were completely evaporated before they hit the pure yang thunder fire. No one can control pure yang thunder fire, nor does it take the initiative to do anything. It is floating quietly on the lake. The ice surface below has long since melted into a lake, and the high temperature is constantly evaporating the lake water, forming air currents that lift and suspend this pure yang thunder fire. Good. This is restraint, this is violent killing. Lu Chengqing felt so happy. God's way is reincarnation, retaliation for retribution. It's not that I won't report it, it's that the time has not yet come. Why did the Queen of Ice spin up here just now, and now she has to lie down? Facing the pure yang thunder and fire, the ice spike cloak behind her had completely melted, and water droplets began to evaporate from her crystal-like body. -1,000, -1,000, -1,000. She is an ice attribute demon. Under the pure sun, she will suffer a lot of damage just by standing. Life is falling downwards at a rate of several thousand points per second. Queen Bing was anxious. She suddenly slapped the lake surface with both palms, and her lower body without feet slowly sank. At the same time, the ice water full of spiritual energy in the lake began to rush towards her crazily. +500, +500, +500. The reply beats very fast, at least 3 or 4 times per second, which is a life reply amount of nearly 2,000. Seeing this speed, Lu Chengqing was a little stunned. With your own damage ability, it's not that you can't suppress this reply. The key point is that the Queen of Ice also has spiritual skills and is protected by a little demon. How can you continuously stimulate sword energy in one breath? Even if she spent all her energy, her terrifying spiritual power and responses were not comparable to what Lu Chengqing could currently do. Tisk. Calculate it this way. If there was no pure yang thunder fire, I might not be able to kill her today. At least one protective magic weapon is needed, and a certain level of attack is needed to make it possible to fight for injuries in the final stage and kill her in one burst. But time. Lu Chengqing remembers that Queen Bing will only give you 10 minutes. If you can't get the result, she will overturn the table, and overturn the snow mountain. A bit perverted. A big demon gatekeeper with high defense and high reply needs a limited time strategy. Who can bear this? Even if you can't kill him, you still want to collect it. Is it possible that before the collection was ready, she slapped her and turned it into an ice sculpture? Right now, Queen Bing's reply seemed to be over, but her life had not improved much. Instead, it was getting lower and lower under the scorching heat of the pure yang thunder fire. She couldn't even bear it. Naturally, not a single one of the surrounding ice soul demons was left, and they all evaporated. Bang! The melting body of the Ice Queen finally couldn't hold on anymore and fell softly on the lake where ice and water were mixed. Ha ha ha! Lu Chengqing was about to laugh. Chunyang Leihuo, why did you kneel down before I made a move? Queen Bing raised her head and looked at Lu Chengqing with murderous and angry eyes. Good. What I want is your look. Seeing that the opportunity was almost there, Lu Chengqing immediately took out the bow fire demonic pot and pointed it at the Bing Queen. No rush. Wait a moment. She currently has at least 1/5 of her life left. If she loses it again, the success rate will be even higher. But what if it fails? Lu Chengqing paused for a moment, then immediately lowered his flying sword and came to Lei Huo's side. This time there is a jade vase in one hand and a demon pot in the other. Collect both together. For Lu Chengqing, the pure yang thunder fire was just a high temperature that was unstoppable, and he could just endure it and it would pass. The Ice Queen, the Blood Demon, and other big monsters are all restrained to death and cannot be seen at all. Fire attribute. It should be the most useful attribute in slaying demons. Lu Chengqing has been wandering around the dungeon for so long and has seen that many monsters are afraid of fire. Pure yang, on the other hand, can completely restrain yin attribute monsters. So, this pure yang thunder fire is really an innate weapon for brushing off the capital. Hidden plot rewards. Awesome. Really awesome. Not to mention the basics of the chi refining stage, all the way to the foundation building stage and the golden pill. I guess you can still restrain a lot of demons. After going back, I must find a way to master this pure yang thunder fire. Right now, the Bing Queen completely lay down in front of pure yang thunder fire. Only a trace of the core crystal ice was still there, and the rest was almost completely melted. I'll take it. While Lu Changqing thought about moving the demon pot, he also put the thunder and fire into the jade bottle. Queen Bing's life is at most 1,000 points at this moment. Not to mention 10%, even 5% may not be available. Yin fire appears, instantly entangled, bound, and pulled. Queen Bing seemed to have sensed it and wanted to get up and struggle, but she was seriously injured and was sucked in by the demon pot before she could move. Done. Lu Changqing felt happy, and his thoughts suddenly became clear. Bite. You have defeated the snowy gatekeeper, passed another level, and can leave the dungeon safely. Lu Changqing glanced at the ice lake. It was crystal clear and there seemed to be a treasure box at the bottom. No rush. After I got it, there was no rush to unbox it. Lu Changqing came to an open space in the valley. There was no snow here and it was not too cold without the ice, so he opened the demon pot directly. You don't want the Bing Po Jing anymore, do you? Such little monsters are all created by Queen Bing. You can have as many as you want. As soon as Lu Changqing had an idea, he asked the demon pot to spit out the ice soul essence and kill it with one sword. Subsequently, this demon refining is about to begin. First, no experience. After all, this demon refining is the magic weapon's own ability, not a spell like the beast control sect. After thinking about it for a long time, I finally thought of using the innate mirror method and sinking in thoughts first. In a daze, Lu Changqing seemed to have entered the inner world of the Bohuo demon pot. There was an empty space about 100 meters in diameter, surrounded by black fire of pure yin, and Queen Bing was weakly lying in the open space. Refining. Lu Changqing gave a light drink. The surrounding yin fire turned into fire whips and whipped towards Binghu. Snap. The fire whip was drawn out in the air with a crisp sound, and a scar was drawn directly on Binghu's shoulder. Are you convinced? Lu Changqing said. Queen Bing raised her head, her eyes full of hatred, and then turned her head away without even looking at Lu Changqing. Okay, I like those who are dissatisfied. Lu Changqing is also a beginner in refining demons. Although according to the entry of Demon Pot, it is almost 100%, no surprise. But not important. Enjoying the process is most important. It was agreed to refine the entire Ice Soul clan, and now that the Bing Queen is captured, her entire clan is also captured. We promised to be tortured every day, but now we come in every day to refine it, so it can be considered torture every day, right? Snap. Lu Changqing held the yin fire whip and whipped it one by one. Turn out to be. This is refining. The demon is dissatisfied. Beat you until you are convinced. However, if some demons really have a bull-like temper and refuse to accept it, then the refining will also fail, right? For a while, the sound of whipping could be heard endlessly. Lu Changqing did not count the number, but it was about 100 times. The yin fire around him suddenly became strong and condensed into a pure flame furnace, sucking the Queen of Ice into it. After a while, bite. Refining successfully. You have obtained the Ice Soul Demon Queen at the first level of Qi refining stage. Is this it? Lu Changqing just found the feeling. In front of you, the yin fire pill furnace disappeared, and the Ice Queen slowly fell to the ground. When she was in the glacial lake in the valley, she had no legs and was completely integrated into the glacial lake. However, at this moment, two slender ice spikes formed into her legs. This way, its height is almost 2 meters. The already graceful figure is even more slender and enchanting under the background of the height. Tisk. I haven't seen Chen Shui for a few days, now I'm looking at a popsicle and do I still need to study it carefully? Binghu came to Lu Changqing and slowly knelt down. The previous hatred and arrogance were no longer in her eyes, only meekness and surrender. Lu Changqing smacked his lips. I still like your unruly demeanor before, can you please recover? There was a look of doubt in Queen Bing's eyes, and then she shook her head. Don't you dare. Lu Changqing chuckled. It's okay, this is an order. After the Bing Queen surrendered, she naturally would not disobey the order, and her eyes became aloof and cold again, but she could not squeeze out the hatred after all. Okay, this is barely usable. Lu Changqing thought for a while and said. You should take the time to familiarize yourself with it, remember this state, and come back to teach you tomorrow. Done. Lu Changqing clicked on Binghu's panel happily. Ice Soul Demon Queen. Realm. Qi Refining Stage 1. Age. 800. Position. Lu Changqing's Bohuo Pot Demon. Life. 420. Spiritual power. 610. Attack, 55. Defense, 48. Spiritual techniques. Ice Falls quite proficient, Ice Spike Storm quite proficient, Ice Summoning quite proficient, Ice Freeze quite proficient. Magic weapon, none. Female, really weak. Lu Chengqing knew that after practicing demon training, his strength would inevitably decrease, but this attribute was really very low. But, compared with the average monks of the same period, he can still see through it. The key is that the spiritual methods are all there, and the level of enlightenment has not been reduced, but the realm has been reduced. Got it. When collecting monsters in the future, you still have to choose big monsters. The rarer and more powerful the monsters are, the more spiritual and martial arts they have, and the sharper they are. Even if the refining level is reduced, the spiritual method he masters is still strong, as long as he slowly replenishes his level in the future. Can you talk? Lu Chengqing glanced at Binghu and asked. Binghu shook her head slightly. Only in the foundation establishment stage can you speak, and only in the golden core stage can you transform. Lu Chengqing nodded secretly. Although he couldn't speak, he could still understand the meaning. Do you still need to transform? Truth. Queen Bing is now in human form, except that she is not human, and the rest is almost the same. After transforming into a human being, your understanding will be higher and your cultivation will be faster. Lu Chengqing nodded slightly. That doesn't matter, your most important task is not to cultivate and comprehend, but to prepare for the state you just had just now every day, understand? Queen Bing's eyes were confused, but she still nodded. Lu Chengqing is not a pervert, he is simply practicing the basic moral cultivation of a monk. He must do what he says. What do you need to practice? Spiritual stone. What else? Ice attribute materials, or natural materials and earthly treasures, are used to enhance your acquired ice soul. Lu Chengqing threw out some spirit stones and ice attribute materials. After all, they were all exploded by the little demon who just killed her. Acquired ice soul. This should be the source of her strength. Kill her. There is a high probability that you can get this heavenly material and earthly treasure called Haodian Bingpo. Lu Chengqing doesn't have the ice attribute, and he doesn't lack a talent or treasure. It doesn't matter, it's more important to keep his promise. Leave the Bohuo demon pot. Lu Chengqing pondered over the ice lake for a long time, and finally plunged into it. Hiss, cold. Lu Chengqing took a breath, quickly dived to the bottom of the lake, and opened the treasure chest. Bite. When you opened the treasure chest, the golden entry was loaded. Golden treasure. The treasure chest you open must be golden. Bite. You have obtained the first-grade magic weapon, the spirit-controlling pearl. Quick, go ashore first. Lu Chengqing was freezing at the bottom of the lake. As soon as he came up, he took out the thunder fire to keep warm. In the dungeon, I have seen desert areas, snow areas, and forest areas. I wonder if there are any water areas. If there is, then I probably won't be able to pass this level. Lu Chengqing does not have a magic weapon that can enable him to dive. He has difficulty moving underwater and cannot pass the level. A copy of the Qi refining period. You only need to pass 3 levels to leave. Therefore, players do not have to pass all the levels. They only need to choose the area where they can fight and pass the level. There must be all 5 elements areas. In addition, the dungeon should be able to spawn some rare areas, such as this snowy area, which should have the ice attribute of the corresponding mutated spiritual roots. Then next, I still have 4 levels to pass: Forest Realm, Fire Realm, Water Realm, and Gold Realm. If you clear all levels, you should have enough time. But I can't use all my cultivation. It was a helpless move for Lu Chengqing to enter the dungeon. There was really no way to get around outside, and he couldn't do it unless he entered. 25 days. Now we are almost halfway through. My cultivation level is still at the 4th level of Qi refining stage. In the coming time, we must seize the opportunity to break through. It depends on the time. If you have enough time, check to see if there are other mutant domains. If not, go to the gold domain or fire domain, kill the monster guarding the gate and leave. After Lu Chengqing made his decision, he launched his new magic weapon. Royal Spirit Pearl. First grade magic weapon. Green. Gather spiritual power to resist external attacks. A magic weapon for protection. Lu Chengqing thought. After the idea came to light, I was really blessed with good luck. Have all the protective magic weapons been released? Let's refine it first. The next day. Bite. Refining successfully. When you use the magic weapon, the golden entry is loaded. Royal Spirit Pearl. First grade magic weapon. Green. Gather spiritual power to resist external attacks. Consume 100 spiritual energy to form a spiritual barrier around the body, which can resist a spiritual attack of the same level. When the spiritual barrier exists, martial arts damage can be reduced by 50%. Each additional 100 spiritual energy consumption can resist one more spiritual attack. It can consume up to 1000 spiritual energy and resist 10 attacks. The spirit barrier lasts for up to 100 minutes. When the spirit barrier exists, it cannot be charged. Enhanced charging, the spiritual power that can be input is plus 100%, and the duration is extended by plus 100%. Enter up to 2000 points of spiritual power to maintain the spirit barrier for 200 minutes. It's different from the protective magic weapons I encountered before. Liu Chengqing had only seen a protective magic weapon once. When he killed the Nangong family's thugs, he chopped the opponent's magic weapon once or twice before it broke into pieces. But it seems to be able to resist spiritual magic and martial arts. There is no saying that it only resists spiritual magic, but can only reduce the damage to martial arts. But, in terms of the number of times it can be resisted, the Spirit Control Pearl is still very good. It already has 10 times, and the golden entry has been added 10 times. 20 times. With these 20 opportunities to resist without injury, the ordinary monster should be killed by me, right? What a pity. The input of spiritual power must be one time and cannot be continuously replenished during the battle, otherwise it will be really too awesome. By the way, I haven't reached 2000 points of spiritual power yet. I can't even recharge it at one time, so I need to retreat as soon as possible. Liu Chengqing thought, now that there is no shortage of cultivation, let's see if we can break through to the top in one go. Linhai City, Copy Square. Lord City Lord, Liu Chengqing has passed 2 levels in a row, and I think he will be able to come out soon. Qianzi's face was now red. It is not a problem for a genius who can kill the monsters in person and clear the level in one day, provided that they can find the big monster guarding the level. Where are the Nangong family members? Back to the City Lord, Liu Chengqing went back after passing the first level that day. He has been staying behind closed doors recently. You must be afraid, right? Snort. It's okay to be afraid. Qian scolded him coldly. If it weren't for the Zhanzong conference coming soon, he wouldn't have let the Nangong family expose the matter so easily. How are the preparations for the Sword Sect conference going? According to your instructions, the main conference venue is set up on the Dragon platform. All the inns in the city have been arranged. The city has said hello that prices are not to be increased or shoddy goods are not to be shoddy. The only remaining thing is to worry about too many monks participating in the conference and to patrol. The company may not have enough manpower. Everything can be messy, but the conference can't be messy. There are not many people in Zhanzong, and it's enough to have the senior sister here this time. Ganzi paused. You go to Zongmin Street, called Jingganjmen, Juyong Temple, Yuichi Heizong will send out a group of foundation building monks, preferably those in the middle or late stages, to temporarily join the inspection department. Clear. Qianzi was extremely interested in this conference. Because this is a grand event held by Lunbu Linhai. Now that I have accepted it, I must do it well. Most of the monks participating in the meeting were practicing qi. Nowadays, Linhai City's qi refining period dungeon has additional entries. This kind of advantage is not something that any other city in Qingyan Prefecture can have. If it is done well, the number of monks in the qi refining period in Linhai City will definitely increase greatly. These are all talents who cultivate immortality. The increase in income is another matter. The key is that after the breakthrough of the qi refining stage, there is the foundation building stage, which can be regarded as the mainstream monk today. As long as you do it well, you can keep it. It is almost inevitable that Linhai City's strength will increase greatly as a result. No matter how jealous and envious Feng Yaocheng is, it's useless. Who said that their genius couldn't reveal the hidden plot? Luyun Immortal Pavilion. Miss, that old guy from the Nangong family disguised himself and secretly left the city. Wanyu was sorting out the news on the balcony. Want to run? Liu Chenshui thought about it and said, you shouldn't run away, right? Even if the city lord blames them, they have a reason to shirk it. The Sword Sect conference is coming soon. Even if they are punished, they will be punished with a little pain. No, Wan Yu blinked smartly. Young lady must not have thought of who he was going to see. Lu Chenshui rolled her eyes. Hurry up and don't show off. You, Wen, Lin. What? Lu Chenshui glanced at her in disbelief. Is he going to die, or is he going to be beaten? No, the spies who followed didn't dare to get close, but there was obviously no fight. And after Yu Wenlin's team entered the city, they went directly to the inn to rest and didn't bother the Nangong family. Wanner saw that Lu Qinzu's expression was wrong, and she suddenly became puzzled. Isn't this bad? They don't even go to the Nangong family to ask questions, so they can't possibly cause trouble for the young master, right? Lu Chenshui felt something bad in her heart. The Yuan family is a big family in Fengyao City. It is said that they have the support of Jindan Zhenren, which is not comparable to other families. They have lost face and must find it back. If they don't find Nangong, let's settle the score. Then, you must be looking for the young master. Lu Chenshui thought of this and immediately said, where is Nangong Li? How is it? What does the young lady care about her? Where else can she be except being locked up at home? Wan Yu really didn't understand now. How could the young lady care about Nangong Li? Start first. Lu Chenshui secretly felt that something was not good, but since the young master had not come out, everything was unknown, and she could not make any decisions. Linhai City, Hilling Inn, the largest and most luxurious Tianzi room. Yu Wenlin looked far away, and the maid Cici behind him said softly. Master Lin, on the left side, the dungeon square is brightly lit now, but in the past there were not so many lights lit at night. Now the lights are not lit for the convenience of the monks attending the meeting, but because many people are waiting. Wait until Lu Chengqing comes out, Yu Wenlin said casually. Yes, Linhai City Lord Qianyuan Zhenren has been waiting for several days. He recently confirmed that he can pass the customs and the conference is approaching, so he left. Cici continued. The golden platform slightly further on the right is the dragon climbing platform. It is the place where this sword sect conference will be held. Zhangzong is a transcendent force, Jindan Zhenren is tyrannical, and several real monarchs are even afraid of Governor Qingyan. Yu Wenlin's words revealed natural arrogance. He Qian Zeruo thought he would tie up a Lu Chengqing, can control Zhangzong, that would be too small for us, Fengxiao City. Young Master Lin is right. Without the relationship with the sword sect, who would dare to fight for the position of the main city in the east of Qingyan? Cici agreed. Yu Wenlin didn't look much at it, as if they didn't interest him at all. The Nangong family is sensible. They fell to their knees a little faster than we expected. Lu Chengqing was kind of helpful. This time, there is no harm in killing him for a period of refining his energy. The key is to break through the Sword Sect conference and gain the identity of an inner disciple of the Sword Sect. When the time comes, let alone compete with Feng Yaocheng, he won't be able to compete with me. Snort, I want the inner sect of the Sword Sect, the Lord of Linhai City, and the extra entries that Lu Chengqing typed out. Cici followed immediately, knelt down on the ground, and beat Yu Wenlin's legs skillfully. You are at the peak of the foundation establishment stage. There is no way you can match the group of casual cultivators in the Sword Sect conference. I can't say enough about this. It doesn't matter to Lu Chengqing, but we in Qingyan Prefecture still have some talented people. As soon as Yu Wenlin finished speaking, a piece of paper flew out of the window. Cici stood up, took it, and unfolded it. Beluo City, Zhang Xuanxiao, is at the peak of the foundation building stage and was once the genius of the qi refining stage. He will arrive in 3 days. Lu Guancheng, Huang Heoran, a genius in the qi refining stage, plans to arrive after the foundation of Tiandao is completed, which will take about 7 days. Floating Cloud City, Lu Shuyuan, is at the peak of the foundation establishment stage. He broke through the foundation establishment dungeon team record 3 years ago. It is rumored that he already has the strength of a foundation establishment genius. Qingshan City. Yu Wenlin suddenly opened his eyes. Qingshan City. Yes, Mr. Lin. It is said that someone will come to Qingshan City. He must be a genius, but I don't know his name and strength. We are checking. Call. Yu Wenlin breathed a sigh of relief. Be sure to find out who is coming from Qingshan City before the conference. Go down. The flying books burned out. Cece's eyes suddenly became a little horrified. Master Lin, there are too many geniuses gathered in this conference, right? These people seem to have inheritance and sects, and even have the names I thought of. It's all different. Ha ha ha. Yu Wenlin looked up to the sky and laughed. What can you, a girl, know? The names you know are just some of the geniuses who graduated from the 12 eastern cities, and those who are in the chi refining stage. Them, how can this young master take it so seriously? However, these 4 people are all capable of competing for the talent of the foundation establishment stage. In any previous sword sect conference, there was a single player with the ability to conquer everything. Once these 4 people arrive at Linhai City, even Master Qianyuan will probably be extremely panicked, right? Almost at the same time. In the City Lord's palace, Qian's also received the same flying book information. The genius of the foundation establishment period is also coming. Crazy. They came here to join in the fun with a group of children. Qianzi couldn't believe this at all. He held Feishu in his hands, looked at the name of the last person from Qingshan City, and secretly gritted his teeth and said, "First Feiyu. Are you sure? Is it her?" A voice came from Feishu. Back to the master, although she changed her name and disguised herself, there are still many ways to judge. 99% of the time it is her. Hasn't she already become a disciple of Tai? Yes, there is such a rumor in Qingshan City, but no one knows whether it is true or not. Okay, I know, let's explore again. Whoosh, the flying books burned out. Qian's got up and flew to the back mountain. The news is too important, even if you don't want to disturb it. There are no years in the mountains, but more than 10 days in the valley. The longest stay time before the copy, and the last day. Bite. Congratulations on your successful breakthrough and reaching the 11th level of the Chi refining stage. Life plus 265. Spiritual power plus 240. Spirit plus 230. Attack plus 10. Defense plus 10. Movement speed plus 5. Have you caught up? Lu Chengqing came out of the meditation and looked at the time. 2 more days. Enough. After more than 10 days, I had gained 5 points for water spiritual root, fire spiritual root, and even marksmanship qualification, but I could no longer obtain the quality of the elixir for swordsmanship qualification. All he could do was sigh. If I want to raise my qualifications again, I'm afraid I have to wait for the foundation of heaven to be established and change my fate against the will of heaven. Phew, Lu Chengqing did not rush out of seclusion, but took out Zhan Gang Jin. This mental method that could increase the attack has never been practiced. Now it is impossible to pass a few more levels anyway, so I will simply learn the mental method first, and then clear the last level as soon as possible. At night. Bite. With successful enlightenment, your Zhan Gang Jin has entered the stage of beginner learning. Bite. While you were meditating on Shuanggang Jin, you loaded the golden entry. Zhan Gang Jin. Qi refining period. Green. Condensate Zhan Gang and increase attack. Beginner's introduction. Zhan Gang Qi attack power plus 200. Sure enough, it's an attack technique. The bonus is even stronger than the sword technique. Lu Chengqing's previous total attack was just over 200 points, so he got 200 points directly from the introduction to mental skills. Panel. Lu Chengqing. Realm. 11th level of Qi refining stage. Destiny entry. Golden legend. Life. 4232. Spiritual power. 2265. Spirit. 2840. Comprehension. 36. Attack. 243,643. Defense. 120. Movement speed. 70. Physical immunity. 0. Spell immunity. 0. Knowing strike. 30%. Comprehension magnification. 0. Martial arts qualifications. Sword 5 knife 0 spear 5 boxing 0 odd 0. Spiritual root qualifications. Metal 5 wood 0 water 5 fire 5 earth 0. Skills and qualifications. Alchemy 0 weapon refining 0 talisman and seal script 0 beast control 0 Kimin Bagua 0. For this panel, I haven't tortured the Ice Queen for more than 10 days. It's really against my will. Lu Chengqing finally smiled. However, it is always profitable. Now, with this sword strike, what little demon can't be killed by me in a second? The spiritual power exceeds 2000, which is enough to fill up the spiritual orbs. You have enough energy to check and hide twice in a row, and the demon pot can also be used multiple times. More than 4,000 lives. Even without the protection of the spirit control pearl, it can't be touched by just any demon or monk, right? Late stage of chi refining. Everyone's attack is only 1200. Those who are good at mental skills, sword skills, and spiritual skills can have an attack damage of 400 or 500, which is incredible. Take off defense. It won't hurt you much. Walk. Lu Chengqing stood up and stepped onto the flying sword, circling the snow-capped mountains but unable to find the golden eagle. Forget it, the snowy land has been cleared, let's spend more time looking for the big monster guarding the gate. The benefits of an ordinary big demon are completely different from those of a gatekeeper monster. And after clearing 3 levels, it's considered passed, right? The city lord still has 10 million in material money available. Linyu is the closest, and the other directions are still uncertain. Lu Chengqing didn't dare to go to Linyu, but he didn't want to go. Trouble. The environment there is complicated and it's easy for monsters to hide. Time is limited. It is better to try to be in an open area to make it easier to pass the level. Change the direction and cross the snow-capped mountains. Lu Chengqing is not in short supply of materials and spiritual stones now. If you can't trade when you go out, these things will be enough for you to use for a long time. The key is the lack of heavenly and earthly treasures, high-quality magic weapons, high-level mental skills, sword skills, high-quality elixirs, and qualifications. These things. It is easier to obtain it only by going to the guardian demon. After a while, Lu Chengqing stepped on the flying sword and went down the mountain from the other side of the snowy area. Looking from a distance, he saw a piece of blue water. Sure enough, there are waters. I won't fight this either, let's look for it later. Tianyu sailed directly over the water, but at this time, another group of flying monsters killed them from the side. Water plundering bird. Realm. 8th level of chi refining stage. Okay, if I don't kill you, why do you still come here? Lu Chengqing smiled. Do you really think it will waste time if I kill you? Cut the wind. Swish swish swish. 3 sword energies slashed side by side. Minus 1328. Minus 2600 understanding. Minus 2705 understanding. Bite. You defeated the plundering bird at the 8th level of chi refining and gained 16 points of cultivation. You defeated the plundering bird at the 8th level of chi refining and gained 15 points of cultivation. The 8th level only has 15 points of cultivation. Could it be that after my realm improves, will the cultivation level 1 obtain decrease? Lu Chengqing's cultivation was almost exhausted in seclusion. 1220 46 thousandths. The last 2 levels of chi refining stage require almost more than 100,000 cultivation levels. Close yourself and practice. It probably won't be repaired within a month. Look further ahead. Today we must complete all the cultivation levels before the chi refining period. Lu Chengqing made up his mind, and the flying sword accelerated again. There is no need to save these spiritual stones. Dozens of kilometers of water quickly passed by, and thousands of cultivation levels were collected. In front of you, the terrain suddenly changed. It was a bare mountain. Look from afar, like a sharp sword thrust into the clouds. To you, Lu Chengqing was a little puzzled. Isn't the earth realm just the wilderness realm? It has been cleared. And then closer. Only then did Lu Chengqing see clearly that the stones on the mountain were all sharp and emitted a metallic luster. Golden domain. But, I'm not here to mine. Lu Chengqing really didn't know what to say. I caught a glimpse of a little demon from a distance, seemingly holding something in its hand. Golden domain fighting spirit demon. Realm. 12th level of chi refining stage. Little demon on the 12th level, are you kidding me? Lu Chengqing smiled anyway. Afraid of fire. Well, most monsters are afraid of fire. Hey, wait, I seem to be on fire now, right? Lu Chengqing looked at the metal mountain in front of him again. If the pure yang thunder fire is stronger, can it melt this mountain? Golden Realm. A main peak pierces into the sky. Within a few dozen miles below the mountain, there are all kinds of gold ore refining sites. Can be dug, can also be taken away. And none of it is cheap. But here's the thing. The demons here absorb the energy of the golden essence, and their martial arts and spiritual attacks are very powerful, and the realm of the demons here is generally higher. If you want to melt such a vast golden mountain with a ray of pure yang thunder fire, it's not impossible, but you don't know how many years it will take. After Lu Chengqing lowered the flying sword, he focused on looking for the big demon. Zheng, several golden sword energy clanked in the mountains. The vindictive demon in front of him had 2 legs and 4 hands, each holding 4 sharp blades. Look, like a flying sword, but not a flying sword. It seems that this demon picked up the ores in the golden realm and condensed the chain himself, which is very rough. Immediately, a flash of purple lightning pierced the heart of this extraordinary fighting spirit demon. Bite, you defeated the Do Qi demon at the peak of the Qi refining stage and gained 1880 points of cultivation. Even the great demon's revealed cultivation level is not high. Lu Chengqing sighed. Sure enough, it was still due to realm issues that resulted in the reduction of the cultivation level obtained. Download the book later. It's better to consider breaking through at the end, otherwise it would be a waste of cultivation. Bite, you have obtained red gold concentrate ore X40. You have obtained golden spirit fragments X1200. You have obtained gold ore X3200. You have obtained low-grade spiritual stones X660. There's so much ore that explodes. Isn't this hundreds of times more efficient than mining? Lu Chengqing put away the materials, searched nearby for a while, and found the treasure chest. Click, pieces of golden light flashed. Bite, you have obtained the second-grade elixir, Mingxin Dan. Mingxin Dan, Qi refining period, foundation building period. Top grade. The material is precious and extremely difficult to refine. It is of great benefit to the monks' understanding of their true nature and their understanding. The basic understanding is different, and the understanding that can be gained is different. Comprehension plus 1 to 5 points. Elixir of understanding. Lu Chengqing's basic understanding is really a big problem, it is too low. If it weren't for the golden entry, understanding any sword technique would basically be paddling on the spot. Use directly. Bite, when you use the elixir, the golden entry is loaded. Asking about the original mind comprehension plus 2. Quote. Lu Chengqing was very moved. Real, the 36 points of understanding that have been following me for so long can finally be used. And this move is 20 points. Breaking through the 50 mark. This is basic understanding, understanding without destiny bonus. If the Heavenly Tao Foundation is built with another understanding of destiny, then I don't need to load the golden entry, and I can be said to have a heaven-defying understanding, right? Let's go, kill the gatekeeper and you can get out. Lu Chengqing directly hides the query. Bite, you have consumed 1000 spirit points, and the query is successful. On the top of Jinyu Mountain, there is a cliff with incomplete sword marks, knife marks, gun marks, etc. left by the way of heaven. Demonic monks often come to meditate. However, the way of heaven has its way, but it cannot be obtained by those who have no understanding and go against heaven by chance. The gatekeepers of the Golden Realm have been standing on the cliffs all year round to study the sword marks. Although they cannot understand the way of heaven, they have discovered a broken sword technique, which is extremely powerful and must be dealt with carefully. Those with a basic understanding of more than 50 points can try to comprehend. If you are destined to be connected with the Heavenly Tao sword mark, you will have a chance to succeed in enlightenment. Is there still such a chance? Lu Chengqing knew that it had nothing to do with him when he saw the incredible understanding required in the previous request. But the basic understanding is over 50 points. It seems to me. The only question is whether the basic understanding after the addition of the elixir counts. Tisk. This requirement for understanding is really high. To know, comprehension of 50 points means the innate value is full. Before awakening the destiny, 50 points is everyone's limit. Of course, pills can also increase understanding, but the amount increased is very small. Ming Xin Dan. I don't know how much it's worth, but it's definitely not something that can be bought with millions of spiritual stones. That's it. The maximum bonus is only 5 points. If you want to understand the sword marks on the cliff of the Golden Realm, you must have at least 45 points of basic understanding. In addition, you can only break 50 points after taking the Mingxin pill. And this is just the basic condition for you to have the opportunity, not 100% success. Hidden information is very clear. If you have this understanding, you can give it a try, but whether you can gain insights or not depends on your fate. Comprehension must go against heaven. The opportunity is even more incredible. Forget it, I don't have time anymore. Lu Chengqing thought. If you come here just after finishing the book, you may have the opportunity to try more. Now we only have half a day. Even if it is not enough to understand the inner Dharma, how can it be possible to directly obtain the opportunity of the way of heaven? Until next time, Lu Chengqing drove the flying sword all the way up to the top of the mountain. After searching for a quarter of an hour, he finally found the cliff hidden in the clouds and mist. Look around. A giant ape with pure white fur was facing the cliff at this moment, sitting cross-legged obediently, in meditation like a seasoned Taoist. Golden Realm Enlightenment Monkey. Realm, Peak of Qi Refining Stage. Age, 1066. Position, Great Demon, Guardian of the Golden Realm. Life, 28,200. Spiritual Power, 22,700. Attack, 380. Defense, 220. Martial Arts, Broken Sword Technique, Integration and Comprehension. Magical Weapon, Red Gold Sword. Male, Habits. I like to sit cross-legged on the cliffs of the Golden Realm, meditate on the sword marks, or compete with passers-by and discuss the Tao all night long. Weakness, Fear of fire. Strategy. It is not recommended to use fire, as it can easily arouse the ferocity of the enlightened ape. You can compete normally and get the approval of the enlightened ape to pass the level. Even if you fail, you will not be killed by the enlightened ape, you can try multiple times. Evaluation. This ape is dedicated to comprehending the heavenly sword marks. Those who break through the level can comprehend it together, or they can ask for advice on the broken sword technique. Those with sufficient comprehension have a chance of comprehending it. Is there still such a way to clear customs? Is there such a great demon who is dedicated to the Tao? Ah, it is no longer a demon. Certainly, not a she-male either. It is a spiritual beast that is born with the ability to understand human nature. Those beast-controlling sects should like it, but unfortunately, the enlightened ape only has the sword marks of heaven in his heart, and it is estimated that the people of the beast-controlling sect cannot take it away. And the attributes of this demon are a bit abnormal. Attack and defense are both super high. And he also masters magic weapons. The material is red refined gold, but only second-grade magic weapons can be used in large quantities. The broken sword Jew mastered it. Hiss. Lu Chengqing was secretly speechless. The mental techniques, martial arts, and spiritual techniques in the Qi refining period do not have this level of proficiency. That is to say, the remnant sword technique is a foundation-building sword technique. Lu Chengqing's mind moved. My current wind-cutting swordsmanship has reached the limit of the Qi refining stage, and it is impossible to improve it any further. Foundation-building period. You must change your swordsmanship. Of course, Lu Chengqing also wants stronger swordsmanship, but the starting qualification requirements for stronger swordsmanship may be 20 points or even 30 points. This is really impossible to learn. Remnant sword technique. An ape in the Qi refining stage can learn it, so there's no reason why you can't learn it yourself, right? Want to. If you kill it, will it explode? Since fellow Taoist disciples are here, why don't you come down and meditate together? Who? Lu Chengqing was shocked. He lowered his head and saw the enlightenment ape looking at him happily. Good. You can speak during the Qi refining period, you really have to be special. Ahem. Lu Chengqing pressed the flying sword and came to the enlightenment ape. He raised his hands and said in salute, I have heard for a long time that the seniors are here to gain enlightenment and have a lot of experience in the way of the sword. I am here to ask for advice. The way to pass the level is to compete with the enlightened ape and gain his approval. The way to obtain the broken sword technique is to ask the enlightenment ape for advice. Lu Chengqing didn't want to bet on the explosion rate, so he simply decided to bet on his comprehension that had just exceeded 50 points and see if he could learn the broken sword technique. He. Although the enlightened ape is not a human being, his words and deeds are just like those of a human being. At this moment, he stroked the white beard on his chin and said with a sad smile, the art of swordsmanship is vast and I am dull in qualifications. How can I talk about my experience? Stupid qualifications have nothing to do with whether you can master the art of swordsmanship or achieve success. Lu Chengqing himself lacked qualifications and often laughed at himself in the past, but it was not because of self-denial. God rewards those who work hard, and those with outstanding qualifications may live a mediocre life without achieving anything. Oh, the enlightened ape looked away unexpectedly and looked at Lu Chengqing. You are also a swordsman. If you want to learn the sword, why not first understand the sword marks of heaven on the cliff? Lu Chengqing didn't look away. We knew from the beginning that the sword marks on the cliff were difficult to understand, so why waste time? And this old ape clearly possesses the broken sword technique obtained through enlightenment. I know it all. Stop pretending, Lu Chengqing continued. This junior has limited time and limited qualifications. I don't want to understand the sword marks of heaven. I just want to learn some useful sword moves from my seniors so that I can protect myself. He. Good, very good. The enlightened ape smiled broadly. It's good if you know yourself. The heavenly sword mark requires not only understanding, but also swordsmanship aptitude. I am born with 30 points of swordsmanship aptitude, and it will take hundreds of years to comprehend it. If an ordinary monk wants to understand it, at least you have to have incredible understanding and be reincarnated by the sword immortal to have a chance. I knew it. Understanding is not enough. You also need the golden destiny of the reincarnation of the sword immortal. Absolutely amazing. Lu Chengqing felt that he had not wasted his time. Otherwise, with such harsh conditions, if he just stared at it for a long time, wouldn't he be a pure idiot? Please give me some advice, senior. The enlightenment ape did not shirk anymore this time, stood up slowly, and held the red gold fine sword in his hand. What I have gained in my life is just a few fragments of the heavenly sword mark. I think your understanding is very good, but your qualifications in all aspects are ordinary. If you want to set foot in the way of swordsmanship, you must have a persistent and determined heart. Fortunately, the broken sword is not the whole story, and it doesn't have any introductory qualifications for learning. You should keep an eye on it. Said. The enlightened ape was practicing his sword skills on this small platform outside the cliff on the top of the mountain. The way of heaven is powerful and has great potential. The way of swordsmanship is also powerful. And my sword only has 3 powers. The first thing is to prepare the sword. While talking, the sword energy burst out all over the enlightenment ape's body, but it did not shoot out. Instead, it circled around the whole body until it accumulated dozens of sword energy before firing out with one sword. Swish, swish, swish. Dozens of sword chi all responded to the point of the sword and blasted towards the cliff. Bang! The cliff was attacked by the sword energy, but it was not injured. It only stirred up some dust around it, but there was not even a trace left on the cliff. Lu Chengqing was stunned. Such a fierce sword energy move exploded in an instant. It was many times more powerful than his own wind-cutting sword. How could it not even knock down rocks? Look further up. The sword marks on the cliff are hundreds of meters long, with no end in sight, and several meters short, going deep into the cliff and crisscrossing ravines. The cliff here is not ordinary. It is a 5-element golden stone condensed from the way of heaven. Don't talk about my sword. Even if Jindan Zhenren comes, he may not be able to cut off a piece. Awesome. The sword marks that Jindan Zhenren couldn't leave could only be left by the sword immortal or Tiandao. Lu Chengqing is definitely interested in such high-end things. Just don't know. Have any monks pried away this cliff? If it can really be pried away, that can't be done by getting rich overnight. Good guy. Tiandao took action to condense the material, such a large piece. Stop talking. Become a fairy overnight. With such a strong wealth, even if you find dozens of Jindan real people to do things for you, there won't be many problems, right? Pity. This place is a gimmick. Only the dungeon that can be entered during the chi refining stage. Wouldn't it be a gimmick if you put a treasure mountain here that even a real person of Jindan cannot pry away? Lu Chengqing stopped paying attention. The enlightened ape nodded secretly. Those who practice Taoism seek wealth, but they must not be deceived by external things. The same goes for those who understand the sword. Look carefully. The second trend is the wave sword trend. No major trend in the world is formed overnight. It must have experienced waves of accumulation until it finally formed an irreversible trend. While talking, the enlightened ape held a golden sword and struck towards the cliff. In the first move, there were only 9 sword chi, and each sword chi seemed to be less powerful than the previous one. But, in the second move, there were 9 more sword chi, and the intensity of the sword chi seemed to have increased. In the third move, there are 9 more ways, and the sword energy is even stronger. In this way, until the 8th move, 72 sword energies were blasted out at the same time. It was even more powerful than the charged sword before. When ordinary monks see such a sword power, they may not even think about blocking it. But with so much sword energy, even if you block it, you can't stop it. Boom! 72 sword energy blasts hit the cliff. The dust cleared. On the cliff, there were actually 72 tiny craters left. Haha, when I realized the Tao, this power was still unable to leave any trace on the cliff. Now hundreds of years have passed, it has become a little stronger. Sharp. Liu Chengqing was really speechless except that he was awesome. Such a superb swordsmanship, let alone seeing it, I have never even heard of it before. It should be gold, right? It's definitely gold. Just afraid. What to do if you can't learn? The Enlightenment Ape made no further moves, instead sheathed his sword and meditated. Liu Chengqing was a little confused. Senior, is there a third force? The Enlightened Ape raised his head and looked at the sky. The way of heaven is unstoppable, but the way of swordsmanship requires a determination to kill. Use waves to build up momentum, and the sword energy is overwhelming. It is actually a sword of death and cannot be used lightly. Use the waves to build momentum, and the sword energy to surge into the sky. Liu Chengqing seems to have realized something. If the sword energy of the wave sword force is accumulated in conjunction with the sword accumulation force, it will flow downwards. Accumulate 8 moves in a row. Hiss. There were probably 500 sword energies, blasting out with the strongest and most ferocious force. Absolutely. Once this move is released, it is a sure kill. Absolute sword power. Liu Chengqing knew about the 3 movements of Kanjian, and he could see them almost clearly. It seemed very simple. But, I can't learn. If I can master such a swordsmanship just by looking at it, wouldn't it mean that I can understand the sword marks of the Tao of Heaven? The Enlightened Ape saw this and said, Tao gives birth to 1, gives birth to 2, and 3 gives rise to all things. After mastering these 3 sword skills, you can change them endlessly. When you practice in the future, you must not be lax. Ahem. Liu Chengqing really didn't know what to say. I really didn't learn. Bite. You encountered a strange encounter in the dungeon of the Qi refining period, the sword passed by the old ape. Bite. When you encounter an adventure, the golden entry will be loaded. Son of luck, if you encounter the method taught by chance, you will definitely understand and succeed. Bite. You have understood the 3 potentials of Kanjian. Liu Chengqing couldn't help but let out a long sigh of relief. Seeing this, the Enlightenment Ape said strangely, although the 3 movements of Kanjian are simple, they are beyond the comprehension of ordinary swordsmen. You have insufficient foundation, and you can't do it in a hurry. Come, sit down and meditate. The sword mark on the right triangle of the cliff can help you. Those who practice Taoism need to have perseverance and persist in it. When can you understand this sword? When can you leave this place? Bite. Adventure is triggered when you understand the 3 movements of the broken sword, and when you can leave the dungeon. This time is no longer limited by the stay time in the dungeon. Ah, Liu Chengqing was slightly startled. Is there such a good thing? Then can I kill all the way through the dungeon? Bite. You have understood the 3 potentials of Kanjian, and the copy time has returned to normal. Quote. Liu Chengqing's expression went numb. For a while. I don't even know if this sword can be enlightened or not. Don't be distracted. The Enlightened Ape seems to have discovered something. The so-called sword cultivation is just about swords. Don't let foreign objects invade your true heart. Liu Chengqing sighed slightly. I'm afraid I won't be able to stay here for too long. The Enlightenment Ape's face darkened. Then you may never have the chance to do swordsmanship in this life. Liu Chengqing didn't explain. He held his hand and said calmly, sword wave. 9 sword energies shot out from Zan Zan. However, these 9 sword energies did not blast towards the cliff. Instead, they returned to Liu Chengqing and swirled in the sky. Continue. The sword moves together. The sword energy surged higher than the previous wave, and all of it was accumulated around Liu Chengqing. The enlightened ape's eyes were so round that they almost popped out. Absolute sword power. Hiss. Okay. Ha ha ha, I still think your qualifications are mediocre. Now it seems that even the reincarnation of the sword immortal is not as good as this, right? Cried. A few tears shed from the corners of the enlightened ape's eyes. It has learned the sword marks here for hundreds of years, and practiced hard for hundreds of years to master the sword skills. Now Lu Chengqing has only read it once. And after only looking at the first two trends, I understood the third trend. What to say? Gap. The enlightened ape wiped the corners of his eyes, turned to look at the cliff, and began to comprehend again. Little guy, you can leave, but remember that you must not slack off in your sword practice, otherwise you will have a busy life as you said. Nothing to do. The words fell. Just hear a bang. Hundreds of sword energy hit the cliff. Wait for the smoke to clear. There were actually dozens of extremely small sword pits left behind. Too small. If you didn't take a closer look, you would even think that there was just a little dust on the cliff. The enlightened ape nodded secretly. If you can understand the sword technique to the point of mastery, you will definitely be stronger than me. That's how it is. Lu Chengqing has more mental methods, and they are all added with golden entries. Even if he has just understood them, they are still stronger than Zan Feng. But the consumption of this kind of sword technique is also too great. The move just now was not fully used. Lu Chengqing's spiritual power could not hold up, and in the end, he blasted out the sword energy before the 8-stroke wave sword force could end. The enlightened ape is a demon, and its life and spiritual power are stronger than those of humans, so it has no worries about this. Remnant sword is, after all, a foundation-building swordsmanship. It's as powerful as it is strong. But with its current state, it can only be used as a special move. Normally it's still Zanfang. Lu Chengqing opened the swordsmanship interface. 3 powers of the broken sword. Sword accumulation. Accumulate the sword energy around you. Wave sword power. Can emit 9 sword energies, which can be used up to 8 times in a row. Absolute sword power. Preparing momentum with waves, the sword of ultimate death. Consumption. 6 points of spiritual power for each sword energy. Cooldown. 0.5 seconds. You need at least 5,000 spiritual power to be able to use this sword skill normally. If the consumption can be reduced after practicing, it can be done earlier, otherwise, there will only be a foundation of heavenly Tao. Other than that, any spiritual power bonus cannot increase the spiritual power to this level. The enlightened ape didn't say much. Let's go. If you don't understand anything during practice, you can come back and understand the sword marks on the cliff. Bite. You have been recognized by the gatekeepers of the Golden Realm. You have passed 3 levels in a row and can leave the dungeon safely. Lu Chengqing still has some time to stay in the copy. The enlightenment ape is here, and I'm afraid there's no treasure chest that can be opened. Do you want to go out and look for the big demon again? Never mind. Lu Chengqing originally planned to leave after clearing the level. Now that he has understood the sword technique, he can try to understand the sword marks. After all, it was left by heaven. In the past, it was meaningless to just look at it. It was just a fool. Now that I have the corresponding swordsmanship, let's take a look at it. Not to mention how strong the improvement is, at least it can speed up the comprehension, right? Bottom right corner. The enlightenment ape reminded me that looking at the sword marks here is helpful for understanding the sword technique. Lu Chengqing walked to the sword mark. The cliff in front of you. There are more than a dozen staggered sword marks. There are also sword pits left by the penetration of sword energy. It seems, it does look a bit like the remnants of Kanjian Sanshi, but it's not that similar. Bite. When you observe the Tiandao sword marks, the practice speed of the 3 potentials of the residual sword will be plus 100%. Bite. When you observe the Tiandao sword marks, the golden entry is loaded. Comprehension is incredible. Comprehension plus 100. Well, I seem to be able to understand it now. Lu Chengqing only looked at a sword mark and felt that it would be possible to accumulate sword energy faster and increase the power of the sword energy with greater power. But to continue to improve this possibility, you need to understand the swordsmanship. No rush. Look at the others. A quarter of an hour later. Lu Chengqing roughly looked at the sword marks in the lower right corner. In There are 3 sword marks and 8 sword pits, probably related to the broken sword. If you study it carefully, you can improve the level of the broken sword and even make it more perfect. The remaining 19 sword marks and 101 sword pits can each be understood to have completely different sword movements, sword moves, or sword techniques. Now, Liu Chengqing's level of understanding is unparalleled by any ordinary person, not even by a genius. Take 3 steps back. Look at the 22 sword marks and 108 sword pits in the lower right corner. Although it is extremely messy, inconsistent, and the strength is completely different, even the artistic conception of the sword seems to be completely different. But Liu Chengqing just had a feeling. The sword marks and sword pits here are indeed a main body. Is unified. It can also be said to be homologous and holistic. This is swordsmanship, a complete set of swordsmanship. I don't know what level it requires, but it is definitely not possible to comprehend it at the qi refining stage, nor is it possible to build a foundation, at least it must be at the golden core stage. Tisk. It's a pity that I don't have time. Liu Chengqing sighed secretly. No matter how high your understanding is, you can't understand it in this short time, you can only take a rough look. But you can't remember it just by looking at it, and tracing it is meaningless. Heavenly sword marks. If you can describe it, it's not bad at all. The realm of swordsmanship is already the same as that of sword marks, or even a few points beyond. If relevant materials are used to trace the sword marks on the talisman seal, that power is by no means weaker than that of a monk who masters this sword technique. So, this kind of opportunity can only be seen in person. Liu Chengqing also had to watch it live before he could load the entries. Otherwise, with 56 points of comprehension slowly comprehended, the effect will not be as outrageous as it is now. Can it be packed? Liu Chengqing really wanted to take him away. I can't come often during the qi refining period, just once a month. And this time, probably the last time, because your own realm will be perfected immediately. As for the materials used to build the foundation of Heavenly Tao, the City Lord should not regret it. Even if he doesn't give it, if you really want to buy it, the Spirit Stone will be enough. Therefore, it is absolutely impossible for me to stay in the qi refining stage without breaking through just for the sake of a cliff in this copy. Pure Yang Thunder Fire. Liu Chengqing once again aroused the idea of burning the mountain. But this time, don't burn the mountain. Just burn some 5 elements gold essence stone. That should be possible, right? The 5 elements are naturally restrained and cannot be changed. Just do it. Liu Chengqing took out the pure Yang Thunder Fire, walked towards the cliff, found an empty space without sword marks, and pressed it slowly. Boom! I could hear the sound of thunder rolling on the top of the mountain, and the heat waves billowing in the cliffs. What are you doing? The Enlightenment Ape was so frightened by Liu Chengqing's actions that his hair stood on end. I hope everyone will support it and subscribe more.